No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing sunshine as we head through the afternoon and a big wind shift. We're back to southwesterly winds, which will bring us to 70 this afternoon. A mild night tonight with lows in the mid-50s. Could be a stray shower or thunderstorm, but skies will clear again tomorrow afternoon with a high temperature near 70.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 241 points to 44,631. Market update brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Celebrate Valentine's weekend by shooting clay targets together at Deep River Sporting Clays. What's not to love? Book your date today at deepriversportingclays.com.
Hill up top now, drives into the paint, pushes a righty shot over to Cal Golden Bears and scores. Parker off a style screen left at 6, pulls the trigger, left wing 3, banks it in. Trey Parker with a kiss. As Hill slices into the lane, hangs, pushes, easily done on a kiss. And Marcus Hill's up to 20, second half. Largest lead of the game. Right wing Taylor, he steps into a 3 and hits it. Boy, did the Pack need that right in front of the bench.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Are there NC State fans out there that are a little bleary-eyed, a little tired? Did you stay up for that exact same loss you've been watching for the last month, NC State fans? Lost a typical game to Cal. You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to NC State right now. I'm going to thank them. Yeah. Here's why. So I mean, I've mentioned this a few times on air, but I'll mention it a few times today. I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus over the next couple of weeks here because I'm going on paternity leave. Starting tomorrow. My wife is being induced into labor for our second child. Looking very much forward to it. But here's where NC State's coming through clutch. Dennis, you can just take this segment that we're about to have, and every time NC State plays while I'm out, just replay it. Because every game is the exact same.
It's copy-paste.
Just change the names around a little. Whoever's the hot shooter for that day, replace Styles with Hill or mix in Jaden Taylor occasionally, and it's all the same.
Copy-paste.
7 straight losses. Corey Smith of Pack Pride points out that is the longest losing streak under Kevin Keatts, which goes back years now. Second longest tenured head coach in the ACC. Every game for this year's NC State team plays out the same way. It's not even like the cool kind of knowing sports. Right? When you're sitting around, it'll happen at Super Bowl parties. Right? If you're the one that pays attention to sports the most, you'll be able to throw little predictions in there and I'll be like, wow, look at that. It's not that. It's I'm sitting there watching going, yeah, 2-possession game, 5 minutes left. Yeah, they're going to lose. And then 2 seconds later, they're down 10, and you're like, pfft. It's not even like, oh, how cool was it? Not even like, voila, look at my magic trick. It's like, it is what it is.
They won a stretch late of over 5 minutes without scoring.
That's part of the issue.
It's from 6:30. I think it was like Jaden Taylor, if I remember correctly, hit a 3 with 6:37 left. They didn't score until 1:17 left to play.
That's part of the issue.
That's 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, here's the whole archetype, okay? With 5 minutes left in the game, they almost always are within a possession or two. It was a 5-point game with 5 minutes left last night. They had been leading, whatever it was, like with 12 minutes left in the game. So around halfway through the second half, they were actually ahead. With 5 minutes left, it's a 2-possession game. And right there, everything changes. And the way I describe it, and I hope it gets the point across, is you can see their back muscles tighten up. You can see everybody suddenly is thinking, rather than play in the flow, rather than what's the best play, rather than who's got the best shot, it becomes, we have to finish. Give me the ball. Hero ball. Maybe forcing shots. Thinking, all right, we got to get it all back here. You're looking for the 7-point shot when you're down 6, rather than just good possessions and stacking them together. And that leads to things where, okay, now we haven't scored in 2 minutes. And everybody's thinking, give me the ball. I'll end it. Now you haven't scored in 3 minutes. Oh, you guys aren't making it happen. Give it to me. Fade away. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, game over. With 5 minutes left, it was a 2-possession game. Cal won by 12. State had the lead halfway, roughly. We'll call it a little less than halfway. Through the second half, Cal won by 12. Kevin Keats, the head coach, Wolfpack Sports Network, gave his thoughts on the loss to Cal late night.
We've got to do a better job of understanding scouting reports. We let Wilkinson get to his left hand every possession. We talked about, obviously, one thing that you have to do with Cal is you got to do a great job of keeping them off the offensive glass. We did a great job in the first half. Second half, we give up 11, 12 offensive rebounds. I don't even think Sioko had an offensive rebound at the half, and now we end the game with 12. Like, if we're going to win these games, we have to follow scouting reports. We got to do a great job on the defensive end, and we didn't do it tonight. Give Cal credit on their flow. I thought they played, obviously played better than us, but we got to figure it out. We got to do better than that, and once again, it falls on me because I'm the head coach.
It's all good. It's all good coach speak, and it's likely true, right? It's hard for us to know what part of the scouting report they did and did not follow, but here's the frustrating part about the game arc that they follow every time. The first 35 minutes of the game, right? 2 20-minute halves. So the entire first half and the first 15 minutes of the second half pretty much takes away all excuses. Right? Last night, if they would have gotten manhandled down low from the jump, because Cal has a little bit of size. Like, if they would have just gotten pushed around, if they would have lost the rebounding battle, Cal's a very good offensive rebounding team. If they would have been getting second chance points from the jump, we could all sit back and go, man, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, who was out with an illness, his presence was missed. And Ben Middlebrooks, when he got in foul trouble in both the first and second half, without those two guys on the floor, they just got pushed around. And you can point to that. But when you are leading 28 minutes into the game and you're playing pretty close 35 minutes into the game, and then it falls apart, it's like, well, no. It's not Brandon Huntley-Hatfield's absence because he wasn't there for the first 30 minutes either, and you were doing fine. It's not Ben Middlebrooks being in foul trouble because he was in foul trouble for the first half, and you were doing fine. You were good enough to at least have a chance through 35 minutes. And by the way, that's not just this game. You were good enough against Duke through like 30 minutes to have a chance. You were good enough against all of these teams. You're on a 7-game losing streak, and darn near all of them you were good enough through 30 or 35 or 37 or 34 minutes to have a chance. So then when you crumble down the stretch, you can't point to, oh, well, this guy had a bad shooting day, or, oh, well, this guy got in foul trouble, because it's like, well, that was happening early as well, and you overcame it until the chips were down. I always hate the question when people are like, would you rather get blown out or lose on a buzzer beater? Because I'm like, you want to play well, so obviously the buzzer beater. But it is easier to explain when you get blown out. When you look at NC State's last 7 games, the 7-game losing streak, the longest losing streak under Kevin Keats. 2 points to North Carolina, 3 points to Virginia Tech, 3 points to Cal, 6 points to SMU, 10 to Duke, but it was closer than that in the second half. 10 to Clemson, but it was closer than that in the second half. 12 to Cal, but it was closer than that in the second half. All of these games, you were there. And then down the stretch, in the clutch moments, it goes the other way. All right, so there's the problem, right? Try to be a solutions guy. Coaching comes into play. You just heard Kevin Keats says it all falls on him. They were letting the opposing team get to the points of their game that the scouting report said you can't let them get to. That's bad, right? Part of it is simply the decision-making on the players. And it's frustrating because something happens like Dontrez Styles goes on a 2-game little scoring run and he's knocking down threes and it feels like, okay, now you have your offensive focal point. Against Cal, he goes 3 for 16. But it's Marcus Hill that's having a good day. Marcus Hill finishes as a 20-point scorer. And it didn't seem like they made the transition to, okay, you're having an off day, let's go over here, let you rock. It was still like Styles going, no, didn't you see the last 2 games? I'm allowed to go 3 for 16. Feeling the moment, feeling the flow of the game and adjusting, like just it's the basketball IQ thing. It's the understanding. I don't want to say understanding competition because obviously they're all great athletes, but just understanding what you need to do in the final moments to make the one more play to win the game. I like the energy from a player like Trey Parker off the bench. He's done a few good things over the last 3 games, and you just wish that kind of produced something. Those losses are tough, and now they're stacking up, and now you're going to start having questions, and the social dynamics of the locker room become much more complicated. And you have to stay on the West Coast and play Stanford.
It's got to be frustrating just on a game-to-game basis. Like, all right, well, what is my role going to be tonight?
What is my
Let
role?
alone a late game situation. What's my role going to be today?
What's my role going to be? Well, there are certain players who obviously know their strengths, and you have to have some kind of consistency. But then there's also, if you don't have a player who is the level of creative scorer to just be like, hey, I'm going to score every game, then you do kind of have to find the hot hand. And that's tough, and you don't know, but also kind of exciting, right? That could be a strength. You never know. You never know what you're going to get. Defense, right? What was Cal's coach, Mark Madsen, by the way, the Mad Dog from the old Lakers teams? Is he sitting after the game going, we didn't pay attention to the scouting report? It's like, can we see your scouting report? We'd like to see what you think we do well often. What did you put down as like you need to stop for us? Because that could help us understand our team a little bit more. The crazy part is I'm only half joking on that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll touch on that throughout the show. There's a lot of basketball talk coming up. Right now, though, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, they understand you can't always choose your timing. Life happens, right? Everybody knows it's cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. New job, you have to move. You need a bigger house. You need to upsize. You got a growing family. You got someone moving in, whatever it is. You need a new mortgage. And you can't always go, well, what's the mortgage rate before we decide we need a mortgage? It's like you need one when you need one. So they help you out with something called a no closing cost loan, a no-cost loan. That way, you don't have to take money out of your pocket for costs and fees, right? That surprise extra fat check that you need to write at closing. And you're like, whoa, I didn't budget this. Before you get there, you know the cost and fees aren't coming. They're not going to surprise you. You don't have to come up with that cash out of pocket, which helps take the sting out of maybe a higher rate than you'd like. And secondly, if rates drop in the future, a year, 2 years, 3 years, a week from now, you refinance, and again, you don't have to take money out of your pocket. You lower that monthly rate, which very much helps, and you don't have to pay a whole bunch of cash out of your pocket to do so. There's a bunch more information you can learn by calling Miller Lending at 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. or you can visit them online at millerlending.com to learn more. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. While NC State was losing late night, Duke was celebrating a dominant win from earlier in the night up in Clemson, another orange team, up in Syracuse. Did Duke pass the test we set for them? Stick around.
Listen for that. Did he just do that?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The get that out of here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, everything for the exterior of your home. Do you have a favorite?
I have a favorite, yeah.
I want to hear
it. So windows, doors are my favorite products. The reason why is because we are the best at installing them. You know, there's 1,000 different types of windows on the market, doors on the market, different people installing them, different companies. I don't care how good a window you get. If it's not installed properly, it's not going to do you a bit of good. I always tell people, if you buy a submarine window, the best one in the world, and you have me put it on a submarine, you don't want to get in that submarine.
I don't want to get in the submarine either way.
I hear you. So anyway, so that's the thing I say. So it's really important that you have things installed properly. We've been around since 1961. We've got a 4.9 out of 5-star Google review ratings, over 800 reviews. Give us a call. We'll come out and give you a free no-obligation estimate.
It's the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online at aluminumcompany.com.
Cuff into the paint. Step through on Harris. Tough two. Oh, volleyball by Maluach. It's Evans to the other end with a right-hand punch to say goodnight. My goodness. Timeout, Syracuse.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I see what you're doing here. For my wife's sake, hopefully it's a very quick labor tomorrow, being induced with our second child, little baby girl on the way. Actually, maybe that's the best part about having West Coast ACC teams, is if I have to be up with the baby at like 1 a.m. It's like, hey, there's actually a game on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this Stanford game, and I can watch something.
Hey, Wake is out there. They just played Stanford last night. They got Cal coming up.
Just need to make sure it's that
State's
late,
out there too.
Late tip. That's what I'm looking for. Sports are great to watch on mute when you're trying to get a baby to sleep because you can follow along, no subtitles. It's a good move. Earlier in the night last night, before NC State had the late night, Duke smoked Syracuse. And they passed what I laid down for them yesterday, which it was kind of like a killer instinct test. Because against UNC, where you would think they would have all the motivation in the world to embarrass their rival because it's a rival, they took their foot off the gas late, and UNC went on a run to close it from embarrassing levels of being blown out to pretty embarrassing levels of being blown out. 17 points was the difference.
Normal blowout.
Yeah, like, it's bad, but it's not the worst. They probably should have been flirting with, like, biggest margin of victory in rivalry history, but they took their foot off the gas. So against Syracuse yesterday, I said Syracuse does nothing well, right? I went and I hunted for a stat that found something Syracuse was like top 5 in the ACC, and there wasn't. So I said, Duke, all right, find a weakness, exploit it, right? Find a weakness and dominate and metaphorically end it, right? Put your foot on their throat and kick. It's exactly what they did. They won by 30. It didn't feel that close. I like the second half. Early on, sure, was there like a big dunk from Cooper Flagg on a guy who's listed at like 7'4"? Yep. Was there a dunk from Malik Brown, who was in his revenge game against the team he started his career with at Syracuse? Sure. But also, in the second half, when you're already up 30, there's dunks from Darren Harris, bench player. Doesn't get much time. There's I have the exact scenario here. They were up 75-46, so what is it, 29 points. With 4 minutes left in the game, Kamen Malawash, 7'2", rises up, and the best way I can describe this block shot is it is a volleyball spike to the back line.
Yep.
And it actually acts as an outlet pass that starts the break, and it ends up in the hands of Isaiah Evans, another bench player who I've been a big fan of since he kind of ignited as a shooter. He ends up with the ball in his hands. Fast break, highlight, dunk from Isaiah Evans, and that is what I asked them to do, right? I wanted their bench player. If you're going to take the stars out, that's fine. Have your bench players extend the league, make highlights, extend the lead, make highlights. Syracuse did not have the option to have a UNC closing of that game and turn a 30-point loss into a 17-point, more respectable blowout loss. They didn't have the opportunity because Duke showed more killer instinct. That's improvement. And as John Shire, the head coach, told Blue Devil Sports Network, the players have been reacting positively to the coaching and are willing to be coached on that Duke team.
There's never been a time the whole year they haven't responded to us as a coaching staff. And how lucky am I? How lucky are we? And part of that is making sure you have the right group that is all in and listens to what, you have to say. But for them to execute and to respond the whole way, that's special.
And I don't just want to, go nuts here, but I agree. Because after that UNC game, first of all, dominant victory over a rival, right? The UNC had beaten Duke twice the year before. It was at home. The place was going crazy. You won by a bunch. That is a perfect time to ignore the coaches if you are going to do that. And I'm not even saying intentionally. Like subconsciously just be like, all right, coach, you got to find something to talk about, but we all know that was pretty good, right? We all know we were pretty good out there, weren't you?
Coach, we got this.
Yeah, it's
okay.
You're going to go up there, you're going to do the talking, you're going to draw on the whiteboard, but we were pretty good. But instead, like the same one thing that I kind of picked up on and everybody did, which was that run from UNC, was absolutely fixed by the next game. Absolutely fixed. So there's now becoming like the mental side of honing your team and honing your game before the postseason is starting to check some boxes. And then secondarily, and I can't believe this is secondarily, they still are just wildly physically talented. I saw a post on X, and I actually retweeted it, so you can go find it. After the Luka trade and after the Mark Williams trade, which we'll talk about. Mark Williams, former Duke center, gets traded to LA, to the Lakers. Somebody just posted the heights of their presumed starting lineup. And it's I'll actually go ahead and find it for you. And it's been retweeted thousands and thousands and thousands of times, right? People are so excited about it.
Let me guess, tall.
Yep.
Is that what it is? Tall?
Luka, 6'6", Austin Reeves, 6'5", Dorian Finney-Smith, 6'7", LeBron, 6'9", Mark Williams, 7 foot. And then it just says, bro, period. And it is 75,000 likes. So I was like, that's big, don't get me wrong. And, and they don't have, like, a 6'3" point guard or, there's no Trae Young out there. So I was like, all right, that's big. But just as a thought experiment, I went and did Duke's starting lineup. And these are both sides are just what they're listed on ESPN.com, right? You could say, like, oh, they're not actually that tall. Well, then do it for the other side as well. Flag, 6'9". Knipple, 6'7".
Yep.
Sion James, 6'6". Tyrese Proctor, 6'6". And Kaman Malawash, 7'2". The Lakers average, 6 and 7.8 inches. 6 foot and 7.8 inches. Duke's, 6 feet, 8.4 inches. That's the average. It's
an NBA lineup.
There's an NBA lineup that people are singling out for being abnormally tall, and they are a half-inch shorter than Duke, who's filled with a player that should be in his senior year of high school in Cooper Flagg, right? He reclassified up.
Same with Malawash.
Another one, you're right. Yeah. So the two tallest they could be high schoolers. They could be, the guards are 6'6" and above in the starting lineup. That is so difficult for an NBA team to deal with. What do you think Syracuse was going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right? Well, and Syracuse has some size. They're not a small college team, but it's just the size everywhere. Every position that becomes something you have to deal with. Every position becomes something you have to deal with just physically.
And by the way, 3 of the guys that are starting for Duke are going to be first-round picks, guaranteed, with Malawash, Flagg, and Knipple.
Absolutely. And the other 2, second-rounders.
Yeah.
As it stands on most projections right now. And at least one off the bench, likely a second-rounder as well. That's where it's all at right now.
Basically, good luck.
Good luck, and that's why we keep saying win and. That's why we put the little, finish all the way to the buzzer. That's why we say Syracuse was worst in the ACC in turnover margin. So make sure you take advantage of that. And sure enough, they were getting deflections all night, turning it into offense, getting highlights. That's what they needed to do, and they did it. That's what they needed to do, and they did it. And the entire ACC should be rooting for them because they're the only ones getting anything done. Although last night was a good night for the teams that need to win. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Dean's List coming up, at least one player from Duke, but also one from NC State. So figure out which one that is. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, here's something I need you to go do. I know the weekend's coming up here. Just go ahead and get on top of things right now. Go to caniacsbike.com. The reason why I'm asking you to do that, and actually I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to do it, is because I want you to have the opportunity to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle. That's right, folks, a custom Caniacs motorcycle, because the Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they've all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a custom motorcycle. It's beautifully painted in Canes colors, Canes logos, decals, custom-built motorcycle that could be yours. Truly one of a kind. It is one of one. Imagine cruising around town. People are like, whoa, never seen that bike before. You know why they've never seen it? Because you're the only one that has it. And you can go win it or enter to win it at caniacsbike.com. You'll see pictures of the bike right there. Again, custom built right here in Raleigh. Custom painted right here in Raleigh as well. Truly locally built. Wonderful, gorgeous motorcycle. Go check it out. If you want to see it in person, it's at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Go see it. Deadline to enter is April 6th. Bike will be given away on the last home game of the year right there on the ice. But go to caniacsbike.com to enter. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is next up with the Dean's List. And you know what? I said there's an NC State. I said there's a Duke player. There's also an App State player. That's right. App getting involved. Next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Now Svechnikov ties out front for Stoll. They score! The captain ties it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 7:30.
Follow the redirect. Here come the Hens! Stoll, the deflection
exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you, hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands us apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there. If you ever need us, give us a call. Visit our website at newcombandcompany.com. As you always hear us say, your comfort is our business.
Hey friends, it's Paul Eihander for FanDuel. The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is happening Sunday, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl, two legends take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. Peyton versus Eli, live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who rises to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app, and if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's the FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick. And don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during the Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 3 Eastern. May the best Manning win. Download your app. Head to FanDuel.com/Paul and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. 21 plus and present in North Carolina, no purchase necessary. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Deep River Sporting Clays is the only area dealer for Cesar Guarini and Fab Arm Italian shotguns, including the Siren line for women. Learn more at deepriversportingclays.com. Again, deepriversportingclays.com.
Parker off a style screen left at 6, pulls the trigger, left wing 3, banks it in. Trey Parker with a kiss. 8 seconds left in the half. 1 point game.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I feel like you got to let this rock a little bit. It is just about time for the Dean's List. And somehow we did work in an NC State player. You may have just heard that highlight. So let's go ahead and open up the class, put it in session. Dean's List, where we take college newsmakers, people involved in the college sports world, since we are here in what I consider the mecca of college sports in the Triangle. And when we applaud, right? We give them an honor, the Dean's List, the honor roll. We commend them for their achievements, starting with that NC State basketball player. NC State's on the longest losing streak that they've had with Kevin Keatts as their head coach. They're losing in similar fashions. They're not executing down the stretch. Yet still, Trey Parker, freshman guard, has made his way onto the Dean's List. There's a saying that really has nothing to do with sports. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? There's another cliche about with every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. Similarly, when a team is struggling and they're grasping at straws and they're trying everything, that's an opportunity for someone who you didn't expect to grow their role, right? Say, all right, if the starters aren't playing well, like if this, every time a starter gets benched, a backup gets a chance, right? And it's gross because you don't want to think like, oh, I hope my teammate, this guy I work with, struggles. But if they're going to struggle, I might as well take advantage of the opportunity, right? Trey Parker, on a team that is struggling, is bringing a little something. If you watch the games, you see it. He brings a little spark. His 3 highest scoring games of 2025 are their last 3 games. Right? He had some early in the season, right, when they were blowing out non-power conference teams. He had some scoring days. But for the most part, since their conference schedule has started, his 3 best scoring games are 15 against Duke, that's 3 games ago, 6 against Clemson, that's 2 games ago, and 9 last night against Cal. And guess what? He's not featured, right? They're not coming out of, early timeouts going, let's draw up the sideline out of bounds play to get him a one-on-one on the wing. He's having to create his moments, catch and go in transition, be in the right spot for a kick-out, knockdown shot, or late in a shot clock shot. So he's finding ways to impact the game as of late, and like I said, role grows, right? And right now they're on a 7-game losing streak. There is no, your job is set in stone. It's who is going to help us end the losing streak. I don't care who it is. If it's Trey Parker, that's good for a freshman, right? He's only building value in himself and building experience. Another freshman next up on the Dean's List, and he is our most often Dean's List member because I like the way he takes advantage of opportunities. Isaiah Evans, Duke freshman. He's been on this list a bunch of times for being ready to do what he does right off the bench, which is knock down shots, right? The reason he is on the team, the reason he is getting minutes is because he can space the floor, he can catch and shoot, he's got a flamethrower from deep. He yammed on somebody yesterday. Not just a shooter, says Isaiah Evans. And that's similar to what I was saying with Trey Parker, right? If you are earning your way onto the floor because you are a spacer, right, and you're somebody that can take advantage of the gravitational pull that the defense all sucks in on guys like Cooper Flagg, like Con Knipple, and when they get double-teamed or when the defense helps, they can kick it to you, you can knock down a 3. If that's why you're in the game, and then you start dunking on people, okay, we can leave him in the game in other situations, right? We can leave him in the game when we need something other than a shooter. He's building his role, which is really all you're looking for individually as a player, right? I want more reasons for you to have me in the game, right? If you think I'm just a shooter, I'm going to dunk on somebody. If you think I'm just an offensive player, I'm going to do everything I can to be a plus defender. So there's just more reasons, more situations when coach looks down the bench and says, all right, you get in the game. Do you have something you want to add into the Dean's List today, Dennis?
I actually don't.
All right, then we'll go straight to the App State representative, C.J. Huntley.
Okay.
Last night, C.J. Huntley had 20 points, including a buzzer-beating dunk in App State's 60-58 victory against Southern Miss. First of all, that's right there enough to make the Dean's List. You put up a 20 spot, including the game winner at the buzzer. Hey, congratulations, you're on the Dean's List. But to dunk the buzzer beater is always crazy to me. Like, it's less than half a second on the clock when he puts it through. And I'm going, like, get it out of your hands. Like, dunking the ball is just in your hands longer than if you were to, like, lay it up or take a short shot. Like, the awareness to know that you have exactly the amount of time to dunk it as the buzzer expires and you're not going to have your hand on the ball is otherworldly game awareness. Do they have I know they have college football. Do they have a college basketball game out yet?
No.
Well, as soon as they do, make sure his game awareness, court awareness is through the roof because guy's got an unbelievable internal clock. The opposite side of that is when someone takes like a half-court shot and there's 3 seconds on the clock because they don't have the awareness. One time happened, not to me, but to one of my buddies in high school. Playing in a road game, the crowd starts the 5, 4, 3. There was like 9 seconds on the clock. they started the countdown from 5. He took a half-court shot in a game we needed to win. Like, we were within a possession, so we were trying to hit a buzzer beater. He took a half-court shot with like 4 seconds on the clock. Not great awareness. CJ Huntley, great awareness. I have one more here, Dennis.
Okay.
A late addition.
All right.
Former Panthers head coach, Ron Rivera.
Go on.
He has accepted a role as a front office administrative member with his alma mater, the Cal Bears, ACC legends.
Let's go.
His role will be primarily administrative. He'll be involved in the oversight of the program and big picture needs, including budget, coaching staff, and student-athlete experience, a source told ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. I'm happy for Ron. His time in Carolina, his time in Washington, I think showed how nice of a guy he is. He's just one of the good ones in sports in general, and it showed how much he loves football. I think it's cool. Like, after you've accomplished, like, he's been Super Bowl champion as a player, right? Member of the 85 Bears. He's been a coordinator in the NFL. He's been a head coach. He's coached in the Super Bowl. He's gone through a ton. I think it's cool to go back to your school and try to help them succeed in the game that you love and pass it on to the next generation. I think that's just cool. He put out a tweet that was like, hey, Coach Belichick has made it cool to go back to school, so I'm heading back to Cal, which is, funny, but also I like the move for Ron.
Both ACC legends.
True. Too much knowledge with Ron to just sit back and occasionally pop up on a podcast. He needs to be passing that along to somebody. Ron Rivera makes the Dean's List. ACC legend, Cal Bear. That's the Dean's List. Let's dismiss. So the NBA's going kind of crazy, isn't it? The
Charlotte Hornets.
The Hornets going kind of nuts. They're acquiring a whole bunch of future firsts, so they're building something. The NBA's, I call it the reality television show element of the NBA, which is the trades and the free agency and the player demands and everything that goes into that. It's having a moment right now, and the Hornets, I would say they're not dead center. They're not like the eye of the storm, but they're in the storm. And Duke players, certainly eye of the storm. They are scattered throughout it.
A lot of them on the move.
Throughout. That's the word I was trying to say. Throughout it. Mark Williams. Charlotte Hornets. The trade, I have it right here in front of me. The Lakers get Mark Williams from the Hornets. The Hornets get Dalton Knecht from, you may remember him from Tennessee.
Rookie.
Yep. First-round pick. Cam Reddish, you remember him from Duke and a whole bunch of places in the NBA. A 2031 unprotected first-rounder and the option to swap picks in 2030. That's a lot for Mark Williams.
The heck of a lot.
There's only a few times in your career you get to learn exactly how much you're worth. Because, if you're a max contract player, you don't really know, right? The max they can give me is 50. I don't know if I'm worth 60, 70, 80. You don't know because the most they can give me is 50. When you're drafted, you learn amongst your peers where you kind of rank. And when you're traded with nothing else, it's just Mark Williams. It's not Mark and a first. It's not Mark and a player. It's just Mark. So he has learned he is worth a recent first-round pick in Dalton Knecht, older first-round pick in Cam Reddish, and 2 future first-round picks, or a future first in a swap. It's pretty good for Mark Williams. And the Lakers get a big guy that they need to defend because they just got Luka, and now they have Luka and LeBron. And at times, they're not the most effective defenders. Sham Charania of ESPN kind of took Woj's spot, has some info and some details on the Lakers trading for Mark Williams.
If you don't watch the Charlotte Hornets, Mark Williams is an athletic 7'2" rising big man. He really fits the profile of the type of player that we've seen Luka Doncic thrive with, the Derek Lively's of the world. And I think they are really excited in Los Angeles about that fit. A true center now. We've been talking about it. Anthony Davis, actually, before he got traded, talked about how the Lakers probably needed a 5 addition. The Lakers have been searching for one since last summer, Scott, and they finally found one. This is a guy that could pair with Luka Doncic really for the next 8 to 10 years.
Ooh. Mark Williams has been very good. He's also been very hurt. He's missed more games than he's played in since being drafted by the Hornets, but he's a very good player.
Spent a lot of time early in his first year in the G League.
True.
Just getting a lot of minutes, things like that.
I vividly remember watching Duke. It was either the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament, his final year at Duke. And he caught it on kind of the short corner baseline and hit a turnaround fadeaway. And I went, what now? Because he had basically, through his 2 years at Duke, been a defender and rebounder because there's so much other scoring pop around him. And I just went, whoa, what is that now? You had that in your bag of tricks? And then sure enough, he ended up a first rounder, and now he's, I guess, going to be paired with Luka for the next 8 to 10 years if you listen to Shams. It's a good spot to be. Other Duke players that were on the move, Brandon Ingram, former Duke player, sent from the Pelicans to the Raptors in exchange for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, first-rounder, and a second-rounder in this upcoming draft. Brandon Graham's, I mean, you know what he is, one of the Slim Reapers out there, scorer. Trey Jones was involved in the De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs trade, which also sent Zach LaVine to the Kings. I'm not going to go through all of that because there's a billion picks. And there was one more that I am missing.
The Cody Martin trade?
Oh, Cody Martin, you're right.
Yeah, Cody Martin, North Carolina guy.
Both Martins have been traded recently, so they're on their way.
Former NC State Wolfpack before going being part of the Nevada Wolfpack.
Yeah, exclusively Wolfpack for those guys.
Yes.
It's just it's crazy. And here's my takeaway from it, because everyone wants to have a take on it. The NBA has turned into, you identify whether you're a contender or a seller, and you go all in on that direction, right? Because there are a few teams out there where they're going to buy everything, and if you don't, you can't compete with them to win. And if you aren't a contender, if you look around and say, hey, we're not going to win it this year or next, you sell for as many picks as you can, and then you try to cash in at some point into the future. So there's really a dividing line between the haves and the have-nots. If you have anything of value and you're a have-not, well, you sell that, right? It is the moving sale where you show up and you're like, oh, I thought this was a yard sale. And they're like, no, just walk through the house. Anything you see, it's for sale. It's that kind of sale.
By the way, real quick, I know we got to get to a little feedback frenzy here, but Marvin Bagley, former Duke player, was sent from the Washington Wizards to the Memphis Grizzlies as part of a 3-team trade.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it came out about 20 minutes ago.
Duke players all over the place. There are a lot of them, so
there's
that
like
happens.
23 of them in the NBA.
A lot of them on the move. From both directions, by the way. Some of them are going from contenders to rebuilders. Some of them are going from rebuilders to contenders, but it's they're in the mix either way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You heard Dennis reference it. It is time for a feedback frenzy. This is where we, every Thursday, we go into the comments, the social media, the YouTube comments, which, by the way, subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Appreciate it. And we find the best feedback from some of you, and we bring it on air and respond.
By the way, we already have a first goal scorer prediction for the Canes tonight.
Nice.
From Brandon. It's going to say Mikko Rantanen, early in the first, thinks he's going to show why he was traded for tonight.
I have two in the running for my first goal scorer predictions. Mikko Rantanen is one of them. I haven't quite decided yet. Still up in the air.
So we had a conversation yesterday about Mikko Rantanen and the Canes losing on the road to the Winnipeg Jets on Tuesday night. And, man, the Mikko Rantanen haters have come out, Tim. For example, this one comes from Brian Cook. This league is all about puck possession. Natchez is a perfect puck possession guy. Not many guys in the league can break down the opposing defense and gain the zone like Natchez. This trade was a huge mistake. Rantanen is good, but most players' stats will be inflated playing with McKinnon and Makar every night. Which, by the way, I will say in response to that, know your stats here, folks. In 51 games without Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen has 54 points.
Look at that.
23 goals, 31 assists.
I would also
Throw
say
that out there.
Mikko Rantanen also probably helped Nathan McKinnon a little bit, right?
It goes both ways.
Yeah. If look at this, McKinnon keeps setting him up. It's like, well, also he's got to finish the goal, so McKinnon's assist stats go up when you're feeding Mikko Rantanen rather than some other person. Listen, here's my official stance on Mikko Rantanen Martin Necas comparisons. Whoa, everybody is way too fast with any kind of hard and definitive statement on how they're going to fit into where they are now. Martin Necas might be an 85-point scorer with Colorado. I'm not going to decide that on his first 6 games with Colorado. Mikko Rantanen might not be as effective with Carolina as he was in Colorado. I'm not going to decide that off his first 6 games with Carolina. It is... You got to give it a chance. You got to give it time. They are talented. We know that. So pumpeth the brakes a little bit. You can start to say, like, I'm starting to feel this, or, should I be concerned about that? You can start gathering info. But if you're out there saying anything definitively, hard and fast, this is true, you just don't know. You just don't know. And by the way, neither do I.
Yeah, nobody does. Which, by the way, Nathan McKinnon in the 6 games without Mikko Rantanen, just 1 goal. He has 1 goal, 4 assists, -2. Okay, just want to throw that out there.
And I've seen some people doing both of them are playing. Listen, you keep the stats, but you don't really look too hard at them until you get a much bigger sample size.
As I said, wait till March. Which actually, this was what Mikko, not Mikko. Maybe it is. It says Mikko K. It's actually Mikko K 1164. Maybe this is Mikko Rantanen's burner account.
What's his middle name?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. Said, hey, no worries. Rantanen will produce eventually. Plenty of good scoring opportunities already. Bit more luck, and we will be celebrating him.
I again, nothing hard and fast, but I will say, he's hit the post a couple times. He's had some good looks. He hasn't gotten lucky. That's for darn sure. He hasn't had any, I don't know if that was the best, but it went in anyway. And you get some of those, right? With the volume of shots he takes, you're going to get some where you're like, that one was kind of, a bad angle, but hey, let them make a mistake. It's just that kind of stuff comes out in the wash. Just give it time. Please. That's all I'm asking. Time. Time after time. I'm not going to sing.
All right, we also had a conversation a couple days ago about Hubert Davis after on his show Hubert Davis Live.
I had a feeling there might be comments on
Tar Heel
Hubert
Sports
Davis.
Network. We played the clips earlier this week about him talking about the need to get a general manager, recruiting coordinators, and adding more to his staff. And this one comes from I Want More Trone. I Want More Trone says, how y'all not have a GM? WTF, Shire hired a GM his first couple months on the job.
Yeah, that's. I don't think there's a good answer for that.
Yeah,
the women's basketball team at UNC has had a GM. The men's basketball team doesn't. It's maybe. And by the way, there's a lot of coaches out there that are control freaks, and they want to have everything in there. I'm not saying that's Hubert Davis, but it's the archetype of being a head coach sometimes is, I don't want to delegate. I want to do it. Bill Belichick, I believe, one year didn't have a defensive coordinator.
He didn't have an offensive coordinator.
Or he didn't have an
like Matt Patricia calling plays.
He just didn't have one. And it's like, well, you probably, everybody else has one. It helps. But if you, I guess, there's weird stuff like that sometimes pops up. So, yes, UNC should have more staffers than 99% of college basketball programs out there. Maybe all of them. You are North Carolina, you can afford to have more and more. It's you look at Alabama football, they have all these analysts and stuff, off-field coaches, and you realize, they got a guy who's working 5 scout teams ahead, right? Oh, we play Tennessee week 7. By week 2, they have a coach that's just watching Tennessee film all the way, because why not, right? If you're UNC, we have a guy he fundraises from fans, he fundraises from businesses, he fundraises from this in person, he fundraises online. We have 7 different people in our fundraising department. Why? Because why not? Because we're North Carolina, we can afford it. And I don't say this derogatorily. I say this as an observation, and I say it as a conversation I've now had twice in the last week, where people, one in the office, one outside the office, come up to me and they're talking about everything Hubert Davis said. We need somebody to run transfer portal, somebody to run marketing, somebody to run general manager. We're going to add all these staffer positions. 2 different people pointed out the difference in level of social media, the videos you put out, the hype videos between Duke and UNC.
Oh, Duke cranks it out like crazy.
Why isn't North Carolina? Especially when your rival is doing it. I know you don't follow Duke on your main account because, hey, rival. But on your burner, you should know what they're up to. Mm-hmm. If they're smoking you in that's just publicity that's worth its weight in gold. UNC needs to step into modern college basketball. They're behind.
Which ties into these next 2 comments along the same lines. This one comes from Timothy Hunt. who says there's no way Duke and Kentucky should outshine UNC, period. But this also comes from a Dario Jones. The only way you stay on top is to change with the times.
Yes. Both. Outshine? No. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say North Carolina should beat the likes of Kentucky and Duke every year because they're also blue bloods. They also, know how to play basketball. But those are your peers. That's who you're compared to.
You should be on the same level at least.
Yes. 100%. And adapting with the times is necessary, right? It's absolutely necessary. Sports are a copycat thing, right? People watch film and take what you do best. Same is true in how you run your program. Steal. You ready for this? I'm going to borrow a Michael Bublé story because I heard it in a podcast a long time ago, and I really like it. He went up to, I think it was Tony Bennett, okay, the late great, not the UVA coach, the singer, right? Legendary. And Michael Bublé went up to him. Michael Bublé sings similar music, and he said, hey, I just want to let you know, I modeled my career after yours early on. You're such a big inspiration for me. He goes, I actually had to intentionally make sure I wasn't doing a Tony Bennett impression sometimes because you were such a huge influence. And Tony Bennett looked at him and said, if you steal from one person, it's stealing. If you steal from everybody, it's research. And I was like, that's genius. And that's what sports is, right? If you go out there and you're calling basketball plays with like, what would Roy do? You're an impressionist. You're just trying to be Roy. But if you go out there and take the best things Roy did, the best things Calipari did, the best things a new hotshot team like Alabama or Baylor is doing now, and you're grabbing what this team's doing on social media and that team's doing in recruiting, and you put it all into your program, it's not stealing, it's research. That's what every team at the top should do. Who's gaining on us the fastest? How are they doing that? All right, let's take that from them and put it into our game. Now you're behind and you have to accelerate to catch up rather than being the hunted, you're the hunter, which is more difficult. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I didn't think I was going to work in my Tony Bennett impression. It's wonderful. You're such beautiful people. But we got it today. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. And I almost did this whole read as Tony Bennett, but I'll hold that for you. This ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-weeny, eensy-weeny little bowl. It's the Super Bowl this weekend, Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. If you look at some of the names that Patrick Mahomes has thrown touchdowns to in Super Bowls, you'd be surprised. Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, Damian Williams. It's not all Kelsey. So you might want to go down the list a little bit, find a longer shot for the Chiefs. What about Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins, or Noah Gray, all plus 500 to score a touchdown? And Mahomes, he'll find the open guy no matter who it is. If you are new to DraftKings, well, you can get $200 in bonus bets instantly. First time you bet $5. I'll tell you how. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. You have to use that code TIMD at sign-up. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Coming up next here on The Drive, we have football at 4, and we qualify the last finalist for our big game VIP next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Dallas Mavericks are closer to a title.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Bonuses used to be everywhere.
Boxes of cereal, a baker's dozen, airline upgrades, even without quadruple diamond platinum status. Life is better with the bonus. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery is adding bonus chances to multiply your win on Multiply the Cash scratch-offs. More chances than ever to win over $140 million in total prizes. Because everything is better with a bonus. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.31 to 4.86. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Clearing skies this afternoon and temperatures bounce back to 70 degrees. Our winds shift back to southwesterly, bringing temperatures well above what we saw yesterday. Mid-50s tonight, so it will be mild. We could see a stray shower or thunderstorm, and then clearing tomorrow afternoon with a high again near 70 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit Newcomb and Company. .com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 125 points to 44,747. Market update brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Celebrate Valentine's weekend by shooting clay targets together at Deep River Sporting Clays. What's not to love? Book your date today at deepriversportingclays.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
It is time for football at 4. At 4 o'clock, we talk pigskin, and also, at least this week, at 4 o'clock, we talk big game VIP. We have one more finalist spot for our big game VIP. Obviously, Buffalo Brothers. It's also their big game VIP. We're working together on this one. So right now, caller number 9 at 919-860-5326 qualifies for a chance to win a VIP table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail for the big game. That's this Sunday. And on top of that, you get a $300 gift card if you win the whole big game VIP. Just for being a finalist. So caller number 9 at 919-860-5326 right now. Just for qualifying, you get a $25 Buffalo Brothers gift card. So nobody leaves empty-handed once you're a finalist, although somebody will leave with, full hands would be, I guess, the way to go. That's the VIP table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers Lake Boone Trail for the big game this Sunday, as well as a $300 Buffalo Brothers gift card. Obviously, you can spend that on Sunday if you'd like. It's the big game VIP, and right now is your last chance to qualify. They'll pick the winner and announce it tomorrow. Should be a fun day for somebody. Should be a fun day for all of us, but extra fun for the big game VIP. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of the big game, I said this earlier. I'll repeat it a few times throughout the show. I'm not going to be here on the show tomorrow. My wife is being induced for our second child, going into labor tomorrow. It's scheduled, so unless it happens now, right? If I get the text, I might have to run. But then I'm going to take a little bit of time off. Obviously, welcome our future baby daughter into the world. So with that, with me not being here tomorrow, I need to get some Super Bowl picks off, right? I need to hopefully make you all some money if you decide to tail. And I'll just put it like this. On Super Bowl bets, only big winners for me. I don't traditionally mess around with minus 110 bets or bets that are, bet 5 to win 5. I like to do it so like when you hit, you celebrate, right? When you hit, it means you made a decent amount of money. I like to do it where the stakes are higher because it's a Super Bowl, right? You count them as fun coupons, right? There's things to track. You want things to root for, especially if you're not a Chiefs fan or an Eagles fan. So I have little justifications here, little fun facts, and then the bets that I think could be fun to place. First of all, I didn't realize this, but shout out to Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback since Jim Kelly, right? Famously, Jim Kelly and the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls consecutively and lost them all. It has been since Jim Kelly in 90-91, right, his first 2 Super Bowls, that a quarterback lost in his first Super Bowl appearance and then returned to start another Super Bowl later in their career. Every quarterback since Jim Kelly that has made it to a Super Bowl and in their first Super Bowl lost has never made it back to the Super Bowl. That's crazy, right? You're talking a couple of Panthers. You're talking Cam Newton. You're talking Delhomme. You're talking Gannon. You're talking Goff. You're like I don't know why that was the one that popped into my brain. But all of those quarterbacks lost. Jalen Hurts not only made it a couple years ago, he lost, and now he's back already. And what did he do in that last Super Bowl? He ran the ball in for 3 touchdowns. So Jalen Hurts, 2 or more touchdowns scored. The tush push is real, ladies and gentlemen. And this is plus 550, so you're getting a real payout on it. You could pick Jalen Hurts as a one-time touchdown scorer or a anytime touchdown scorer. That's fine, but the payout's going to be less. I think if he gets 1, he gets 2. I think he gets 1 tush push and maybe 1 where he scrambles for it. Plus 550. There's another fun fact about the Eagles, and this might be just as crazy. Philly enters the Super Bowl. And this comes from Hembo, the statistician for ESPN Radio. Philly enters the Super Bowl, regular season and postseason, having passed for 3,610 passing yards. They have rushed for 3,731 rushing yards. The last time a Super Bowl champ had more rush yards than pass yards in a season, including playoffs, is the 1975 Steelers. And the ironic part is it was done in 72 by the Dolphins, 73 by the Dolphins, 74 by the Steelers, and 75 by the Steelers. So 50 years ago, this was common. In the nearly 50 years since, it has not happened once. So this Eagles team is a different beast running the ball. Saquon Barkley, 200 or more total yards. 200 plus total yards. If we are, conditioned for Saquon, he'll have 1 50 or 60-yard touchdown because he's done that in every big game they've had this year. I think he'll catch a bunch of passes on checkdowns as Spagnuolo blitzes, and then, his traditional 25 other carries. There really is no more, right? All season it's been, you don't want to overwork Saquon. If you can get him out of the game, don't have him chase records. There's no next week for them to save him for. And then on top of that, 200-plus total yards, rushing plus receiving, it's plus 850. Again, we don't mess around with small winners during the Super Bowl. The other side, right? You may be going you're picking all Eagles stuff. You need bets when both teams are on the field. I have the full list. I talked about this earlier. I have the full list of players that have caught a touchdown from Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl. Mahomes has been in 4 Super Bowls. I have the full list. Travis Kelce twice. I think everybody would accept that. You may even expect more, right? 4 games, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, only 2 touchdowns? Yeah, half a touchdown a game for Travis. The rest, these are the players that Mahomes has thrown a touchdown to. Damian Williams, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Mecole Hardman. If that shows anything, it says, A, Andy Reid will dial up a play for a not premier player. And also, Patrick Mahomes throws it to the open guy. Right? He's not force-feeding it to one person. So, a long shot, I believe it's a near certainty, will catch a touchdown from Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Right? One of the not favorites to score a touchdown. I picked my 3 favorite. They're all decent payouts. If any of them hit, you're happy. If 2 of them hit, you're rolling in the cash. First, Noah Gray, backup tight end, because I think there's shovel passes. There's all those weird things that the Chiefs love to do. And if everybody goes with Kelce, Noah Gray, the other tight end down there on the goal line, easy money for like a 2-yard score. DeAndre Hopkins, plus 500, both of them plus 500. DeAndre Hopkins is DeAndre Hopkins. Are you kidding me? He's one of the best wide receivers in the history of the game. I think the Chiefs could find a way. And then my super long shot is Justin Watson. Like if a Sky Moore is going to catch a touchdown, I like Justin Watson. He's been with them for a while. Him and Mahomes have a nice little rapport. He's plus 1,100. Again, big payouts. Dennis, you ready for my one for fun?
Hit me.
This is one of my favorite bets to place, but it's usually only available for Super Bowls. Any quarterback to catch a pass. Either one. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a backup. Anyone listed on the roster as a quarterback, if they catch a pass, plus 1,600. Think of all the trick plays that have been run. You get an extra week to practice them. Philly's special. Brady's caught one. And the best part is I love the multiplier, right? Because if there's ever a play where a quarterback catches a pass and you're at like a Super Bowl party, you're at a bar, you got some friends over, what happens? Everybody's like, whoa, did you see that? You get to multiply the juice. Because not only is it, oh my gosh, we just watched a really cool trick play, it's also, I just made a bunch of money. And on top of that, Hurts, obviously, really good athlete. Mahomes, surprisingly good athlete. I think you could work them both into a trick play. If you're looking for a pick for the game, I will not leave you hanging. My pick for the winner is the Chiefs. I've been on them for a long time. You don't pick against Mahomes. Score, 28-25. 28-25. You know how I found it? I went to their last Super Bowl, and I subtracted 10 from both of their scores. It was 38-35 last time when they played. I think both teams have better defenses. I think the Eagles' running game can slow down and maybe not lead to such a high-scoring game. They can eat up some clock, but the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. If it's close, Mahomes will lead the drive they need to win, probably a field goal as time expires. 28-25. That does hit the over, by the way, but it feels lower scoring. So 28-25 is my final score. That's what I'm expecting.
What is the over-under?
I think I saw 48. Let me make sure. I have it all up right here. It is 48.5. 48.5.
So like a 30 to 28?
That would be 58.
I take that back.
You're looking at like
on their math.
Yeah, hey, like 30 to 18?
28-21. Boom, nailed it.
Something along those lines, yeah. I, though, am saying 28-25. Chiefs win. When it happens, everybody let me know. I will not be on the show. Like I said, I'll be out on paternity leave, but you can let me know on social media. Oh, you were so right. And if I'm wrong, just forget about it by the time I come back. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Look, I want everyone to take a moment, reflect about when you're riding around town in your vehicle. Think about, hey, you know how cool it will be on a gorgeous day to ride around town in a custom motorcycle that you could win, that's decked out in Carolina Hurricanes colors and logos, decals, and it's a custom-built one of one? That could be you. Just go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to enter. Because the Law Tigers, the Carolina Hurricanes, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they're all teaming up together once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Just go to caniacsbike.com to enter. You'll see pictures of the bike right there. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. I can't win it. You can. Maybe you can let me test drive it when you win. Just hit me up. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to win. By the way, weather's getting a little bit warmer. Starting to see a few more motorcycles out there on the road, including myself. Might be out there and back on the motorcycle here in the very near future. But be safe out there. If you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with Hurricanes and Cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes? And we look ahead to tonight's game at Minnesota. It's all coming up next.
Listen for that. Did he just do that?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damask from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The get that out of here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Best idea for both of you this Valentine's Day? Adam and Eve. Everybody wins when you walk in with a gift from your local Adam and Eve store. Maybe you've been to one of our 6 Triangle locations. Maybe this is the reason you've been waiting for. Adam and Eve stores are filled with romantic, intimate gifts, from playful to passionate and everything in between. They'll even gift wrap it for you. Shop in store today and get a free gift with a qualifying purchase at your local Adam and Eve, where pleasure begins and passion never ends.
When it comes to the biggest games of all time, the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill is the road to a good time. This year for the big game, come get your appetizers, buy one, get one half off. Take out or dine in. Dine in and also score great drink specials like $5 Bloody Marys and mimosas, $3.50 Coors Banquet and Yingling Fight Bottles, $9 Yingling Personal Pitchers, and all Crown Royal flavors are just $6. It's the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill for the big game in Cary on West Chatham Street and Apex on Center Street. AbbeyRoadNC.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com. Show the coupon at the pharmacy and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Get ready for the concert event of the summer.
On the road again.
Catch Willie Nelson and family. Bob Dylan. Turnpike Troubadours. And more at the Outlaw Music Festival's 10th anniversary tour, July 27th. Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday. Get tickets at livenation.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Carolina will keep it in. Walker tees it up. They score! Net front presence. And there's the shoot mentality that the Canes always employ. And yes, Barry Kotkaniemi gets the tip on the Walker blast. It's 1-0 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump to the ladder challenge, I hit last night easily, just to let you know. Big winner. Before we do that, text keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 27th. That's when the concert is taking place. If you want a chance to win Outlaw Music Festival tickets, text FEST, F-E-S-T, that's how you spell it, to 919-860-5326. Just the word FEST will do fine. Ladder challenge time. We also have Hurricanes and Cons coming up. We have the game tonight to preview, Canes at Wild, and first goal scorer. All of you, be ready to make your selections. So start thinking about who's going to score the first goal for the Canes and in what period they will score it. We'll get those callers in about 15 minutes. Dennis, I picked Duke to win by at least 8.5.
Yeah, I think you handled that one just fine.
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable about 5 minutes into the game. Like, all right, this one's taken care of.
Should have felt comfortable 5 minutes before the game.
Sure, I mean, they're supposed to be likely to win bets. I felt likely to win. That's what I'm saying. Dennis, what happened with you last night?
So I had Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oilers, against the Chicago Blackhawks, 2+ shots on goal. He got 2 shots on goal, so that's all I needed.
What was the other bet you were going to do before you?
I was going to take the goal total of that game to be over 4.5.
Did that hit also?
And it was 4-3.
Okay. All right. So
I would have hit that as well.
If the change would have made it so you won when you shouldn't have, I could have raised a stink. But I won't do that. Instead, I don't know how we're going to do this because, as I've been saying throughout the show, tomorrow I'm not going to be around.
Yeah. So what are you up to now?
I am up to $17.05.
Okay. I'm up to $16.80.
So we're close.
Yeah.
I assume it'll be you and Graham doing a lot of the fill-ins.
Yeah, well, Graham and I'll figure something out.
Okay.
But I guess we'll just have to pick up whenever you get back.
Yeah, exactly. I will be back. I should be back before the end of February. So it'll just be a lighter week, and you guys can compete amongst yourselves while I'm gone.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
For tonight, I'm going Canes. I'm looking Canes. I'm saying Canes over 1.5 goals versus Minnesota. Just their goal scoring, get at least 2. Minnesota's not a bad defensive team. They're 11th in goals allowed per game, meaning 11th fewest. So they're actually above average. But I have a feeling the Canes are due, right? Blake had the goal taken away. Rantanen rang the post. I think the hockey gods are like, we owe you a couple. So I'm looking at like a 4-goal game for the Canes tonight.
Okay.
And obviously 4 is easily over than 1.5. So give me over 1.5 goals for the Canes. That is minus 550, which will turn my $17.05 into $20.15. I'm hoping to for the first time. Double my money. First time in February. We've done a bunch in other months, but for the first time in February, get over the 2xing my money that we started with, the $10.
Okay, so all right. That's a minus 550. Mm-hmm. Mine's a minus 575. This is actually the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the New Jersey Devils. Mm-hmm. I just need combined goals over 3.5 in this one. That's all I need. So my 1680 will turn into 1970.
Pitcher's duel. It's going to be 2 zippy. That's what it's going to be. I get to make all these like really aggressive, exact predictions because I'm not going to be here tomorrow to answer for it. So it's going to be 2 zippy.
I could also just say, yeah, Canes win 1-0. Let's go.
No, that's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because I just said they're going to score 4 goals.
Oh, Freddie with a shutout tonight? Mika
that might happen.
The only goal?
I don't care. I don't care what happens on the other side as far as my bet goes. It is just Canes goals. 4.
Canes trying to go for that empty netter. Like, I need that second goal, and it hits a post. Like, oh, darn it. Could have been yours, Svetch.
Did you see people are – I don't even know if this is good or bad. It could mean absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. In active players in empty net goals per game, number 1, 2, and 3 are all on the Canes.
Yeah.
It's Aho, Svetch, and now Mikko Rantanen's 3rd.
There you go.
They are just excellent at long-distance, seeing eye empty netters. I don't know what that means. It's just a fun fact for you. There you go. Things that make you say, Now, let's jump to Hurricanes and Cons, shall we?
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
What are you most confident about? What are you most concerned about when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes? We call it Hurra-Cons and Cons. Starting with concerns. My concern, it's the same it's been for a while now, depth. I hate that they've gone 11-7 with 11 forwards and 7 defenders a few times in the last week or two. There's just too many times I over the last probably month I'm watching a game and I see a guy like, just chasing a puck, and I'm like, ooh, hope they're not depending on him too much if this game is important. It's, and no disrespect to them, it's a different level of player than we're used to seeing on the ice for the Canes. If there's like a playoff seeding on the line, or if it gets to the playoffs and you have Yaska, Stillman, Suzuki, like any of those guys playing like any minutes, you get a little trepidatious. So I just want a little bit seventh defender that's a little bit better, 13th forward that you're a little more comfortable with, maybe a little more veteran, a little more experience. So the depth scares me a little bit, especially because like something like the flu sickness that's going around, that could happen at an important, like that's not outlandish, right? Somebody could twist a knee. Like things happen in hockey.
Well, that's the thing. They're tapping into that depth right now, but hopefully you get guys like Tyson Jost back. Probably My guess is after the Four Nations break. But then eventually, hopefully late in the season or in the playoffs, you get William Carrier back as well. And who knows what other moves they're going to make. But they're kind of using that depth right now. Rod Brindamore actually did talk to Adam Gold earlier today, and he does feel like he's going to be back to 12-6.
All right.
Tonight.
And my concerns are being alleviated, but not fully. Dennis, what's your concern?
My concern for them is because of all the in and out of the lineups with guys being sick and so on and so forth, is that if these last couple games they start to build that chemistry together finally, they're going to take a 2-week break. So it's kind of almost like a reset of that. But that's kind of my concern, is that because of the ailments recently, whether it be illness or injury or otherwise, his kind of, again, it's taken a couple of games away from getting steps to where they need to go. I know there's a break coming up, but that's kind of a little bit of my concern right now. It's just guys are still figuring it out.
My confidence, and I can't believe I have to say this, is Rod Brindamore. I realize something is happening, right? Because yesterday, I went on a little rant saying, like, Rod is the guy. There's so many fans that I'm seeing that are complaining about his decision-making and how he runs things and this and that. And they're starting to maybe take it a step further. And, like, he is the problem. And I'm going, whoa. And somebody hit me with, like, you're always complaining about his decisions. Why do you defend him? And I realize when I nitpick some decisions, when I don't agree with them, whatever it is, it's not at all more than that. It's just nitpicking. I disagreed with that decision. If I, first of all, listed all of the times I agree with Rod Brindamore, it would significantly outweigh the times that I disagree with Rod Brindamore. And secondly, smart people, if I disagreed with Rod Brindamore, a lot of times would side with Rod Brindamore. Like, there is a proven track record of success in building a program and hockey knowledge that makes it obvious to me that he is the right guy for leading the Canes. There's no doubt in my mind there. So while you watch a game and you go, gosh, I wish this would have happened, or geez, I wish that would have happened, that's not exactly what it's not exactly the same as saying I think there needs to be a change. So Rod Brindamore, I am still wildly confident in his head coach, and I wanted to make that clear, which is what I did just there during confidence. Dennis, what are you confident in when it comes to the Canes?
My confidence is we know that they have a good group of talent. My confidence is they don't have to get it right now. That's the thing, is that they're still trying to figure it out, that they have time. I think a lot of people are just expecting them to just be lights out after the Rantanen and Hall trades, just to be like, well, yeah, we should be firing on all cylinders right here in February. You don't have to be firing on all cylinders right now in February. Trade deadline is a month away. Month from tomorrow is the trade deadline. 4 weeks. 4 weeks from tomorrow is the trade deadline. You have plenty of time. It's March 7th to figure it out in terms of what are your line combinations going to look like? Do you need to make another move? You have time. That's the confidence when it comes to this team. You also look back, like, yes, they've lost their last 2 games. They were 6-0-1 the previous 7 before that. And, like, all of a sudden they've lost 2. It's panic time. Let's pump the brakes here a little bit, people. My confidence is that they have the talent. We know that they do. Now it's finally going to start to come together with guys actually getting healthy and no longer sneezing on each other. They have plenty of time to figure it out, and you don't have to be firing on all cylinders right now. You need to be firing on all cylinders in 2 months.
So let's go ahead and stop cons and cons, because you're leading me right into the way I am looking at the Canes versus the Wild tonight, and really this last section of games before the Four Nations face-off. These games, and I'll explain it, but I think it's one of my better analogies, just to pat myself on the back. And you'll see how ridiculous it is in a second. These games are important like an 8th grade dance is important. And the reason why I say it like that is because they really seem like they are. Like when you're in 8th grade and you're getting ready to go to the 8th grade dance and you're putting on your dress shirt and you're thinking of who you're going to dance with, it seems, and socially you don't want to be awkward and you don't want to do, and I don't know how to dance, and am I going to look foolish, and it's like socially so important. But in the scheme of things, like, you look back and I'm in my 30s and it's like 8th grade dance it's really not that important, right? It's a way to kill time, like one random Saturday when you're 14 years old. Socially, the next 2 Canes games, starting with tonight against the Wild, they're important in, like, what do you want the conversations to be about during the Four Nations face-off break, right? Because hockey fans and hockey publications, they're going to need something to talk about when it comes to the NHL, and it's going to be convenient to say, look at the stats. Mikko Rantanen isn't the same player without McKinnon that he was with him. And it's going to be convenient to say, Rantanen's never going to re-sign with Carolina if he isn't producing. And so socially they're important, right? If he scores a goal tonight and a goal in their next game, those conversations are very different. It seems really important. But when you look back 30 years from now, the important part is going to be how they finish the season. It's going to be what he does in the postseason. It's going to be what he's doing a month, 2 months from now, right? These games, they're socially important. But in actuality, why would you make, like, those 2 questions or 2 statements I just made, right? Like, why would Rantanen agree to re-sign? Why would you make that decision right before a 2-week break? Especially when Rantanen and Aho will be on Team Finland together, presumably spending at least a little time and building a little chemistry and getting back on the same page a little bit with each other. Let the postseason be the thing that helps Rantanen decide if he can win and build his legacy in Carolina. So I'd love to have Rantanen score 3 goals tonight, right? And quiet those conversations going into the break so the gossipers and the busy mouths can go talk about something else. Just like you'd love to I don't know, the 8th grader, like, gets to dance with their crush, and it's great, and they hit the awesome move right when the who's the hot singer now, like Taylor Swift song, and it was all cool, and everybody gathered around them and they clapped. Like, you want that to happen, but if it doesn't happen, it's like, it's a bummer, and you move on, and you realize in the scheme of things, it's not that important. I'd love for Rantanen to score 3 tonight. I'm not judging the move. I'm not judging what I think his experience will be yet. Minnesota is a good team. They grind. One of the better defensive teams, like I said, like 11th in goals allowed, bottom half offensive team. I'm comfortable with the Canes in a grinded out battle against darn near anybody with their history. It's a game. It's one of 82. It's important in that way, but I'm not putting any kind of futures on it. Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, just to give you an outsider's perspective, talks about the situation with Rantanen, how it's different than Jake Gensel last year, and what Carolina's approach is.
I think they learned a lot from the Gensel thing last year. Number one, as Tulsky has pointed out, they didn't have the cap room they do now. They have a ton of cap room. Number 2 is that, last time with Gensel gave them a number, and I don't think they gave it to him until like 2 days before free agency. And by that time, Gensel was like, no, it's too late. So I think, like everybody, you learn your lessons. The one thing I do believe is this: they will go where they have never gone before, and they will make a big pitch at him.
There it is. The money, the conversations, those are going to happen. I don't think if he scores tonight against the Wild is going to be like, well, I can't sign that 8-year, $14 million a year deal because back on February 6th, I had that transition opportunity and you didn't feed me the puck. So I can't make it happen. All the way down to little things like the Canes Twitter world. Apparently, this is the first game that Mikko is going to have his preferred gloves. He hasn't had the gear. He's been playing in someone else's gloves. Let's reel back in all the overreactions, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Same with Taylor Hall, by the way. They're all kind of cobbling together their preferred gear. Takes that long. Give them a minute. Let them skate in their own shoes for a second, if you will. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for first goal scorer predictions. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, open right now, 919-860-5326. Call in with who you think will score the first goal of the night for the Canes tonight against Minnesota, and in what period you think they will score it. We need those two pieces of information. 3 of you will be chosen off the phone lines, and you will get to make your prediction on air. If one of those 3 official contestants gets it correct, both the player and the period, they will receive the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. A gift card to rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Carys-McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. I will reveal who my first goal scorer prediction is at the end, as I always do. But I've already teased it once, so I'll tease it again. There are 2 Canes that are in the running for my first goal scorer prediction. One of them is Mikko Rantanen. I wanted to pick Mikko and just say no nonsense, something powerful early on, maybe a power play, and just get it over with so people can stop talking about it. But I think I'm leaning the other way. So it's not Mikko Rantanen for my first goal scorer prediction. That's my tease. We'll find out who the first goal scorer is for Chad in Hillsborough. First, Chad, who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it?
Well, I'll take your pick. You didn't. I'll take the Moose to get a score in the first.
All right. When you call him the Moose, you have to give us a Moose call. Give us your best Moose call. All right, the enthusiasm wasn't there, but I appreciate you giving the effort a little bit. Chad, stay on the line. Dennis has some info we need to grab from you. By the way, if you're a superstitious person, only one time on the show have we asked listeners to do the Moose call, and guess what happened in the game that night? Mikko scored. It was his first goal as a Cane, and he hasn't done it. Let's just say there's not a lot of goals that have been scored by him otherwise. So, if you're on the phone, you want to give a Moose call, you might be the reason why we get to see it again. Gus and Carey, you are up next. Gus, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Aho in the first on a power play.
Aho, and I love the definitive nature of that. You just think Fishy is due?
Yeah, he's due.
All right. I like calling him Fishy. I'm not always sure I can pull off the hockey nicknames, but
does he have to give us our fish sound?
Can you? That's asking. Gus, do you have give us your best fish impression?
Fish?
That's
flipper.
Hey, that's not bad. That is excellent improv skills. I kind of like just saying fish with a question mark.
I respect
it.
Gus,
stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. It's like a Friday for me, so we're getting off the rails. Bob in Apex, you are our last official contestant. Bob, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I'm thinking with Andrei Svechnikov in the first.
Svech in the first.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to think of an animal. There's nothing attached there, is there? All right, just Bob, stay on the line, and Dennis will grab some info from you. I want to be like Ranger Rick or like the David Attenborough, something like that, right? Where it's just every player has some kind of animal nickname, and anytime you make a prediction, you have to just make that call. It'll be like I don't know why that's so important. I have a 3-year-old son at home, almost 4 now, but in like preschools and in all these books, you would think it is like vital to life that you know the sound of every animal, right? All these books, all these toys, it's like a cow goes moo, and then it's a chicken clucks, and it just goes all the way through everything. I don't know if 3- and 4-year-olds across the country are great at their alphabet, but I can guarantee you 3- and 4-year-olds across the country know what every animal in the jungle, on a farm, any of them, they know the sounds that those animals make. Elephant cranks it out. I don't know what that means. Either way, appreciate it. Chad went with Rantanen in the first, gave a half-hearted moose call. Gus and Carey went with Aho, gave us his best fish impression. And Bob and Apex, all these in the first period, by the way. Bob and Apex chose Fetch. Those are probably right down the middle, right? You throw Jarvis in there, those are going to be the betting favorites to score for the Canes, right? They're the players with the best, I would say, kind of reputation as scorers. If you did not get chosen, right? If you did not make it through on the phone lines, if you did not get through on air, first of all, we do this every single game where we have a show. So if we have a show on a game day, we do first goal scorer predictions every time, so you can try again. But if you want the bragging rights, if you have a good feeling on somebody scoring first today, you can always go to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Our live stream is played there every day. And in the comments, you can leave a name and a period. And if you get it right, we'll still give you your glory, even if we can't give you the prize.
Brandon in our YouTube live chat actually early on in the show said Moose gets one tonight. Rico Rantanen in the first period. He's going to show why the reason we traded for him. Also, this one comes from JAH Lion, says Robinson in the first.
That's a good pick. He hasn't done it in a while. For a while there, he was like first period Gretzky. He was scoring like every single time in the first.
And then Travis Batts says, we are heading to Chatmandu tonight. Chatfield going to jump in on a 3-on-2 middle lane drive, bury the rebound first period.
That'd be very specific. I get very excited when Chatty scores. Dennis, who's your first goal scorer?
Road team. Usually going to start out with a little bit of grind from the stall line.
Minnesota is a bit of a grind also, so it could just be grinding all over the place.
They're without their top scorer in Kirill Kaprizov. Give me Jordan Martinook on a rebound late in the first period, makes it 1-0.
I thought you were going with Stahl there.
I thought about it, but I'm going to go Jordan Martinook this time.
All right, this is
he and Jarvin right there. I'm going to go Martinook.
I'm glad no one took mine. I was going to go Mikko until I learned that Jackson Blake is from Minnesota.
He is.
And this is his first time as a professional playing in Minnesota. And he had a goal taken away last game, so he's due. Hockey gods looking out for him. I don't even really believe in superstition, but it just worked with my narrative.
Okay.
He's been taking a little bit of heat, right? People are, for some reason, even though he's playing very well, upset that he's getting first-line minutes alongside Aho and Rantanen. Very confusing why you'd be upset that your rookie is playing well on a first line. That's a cost controlled over the next bunch of years. And, I mean, if you need superstar in the first line, you have Rantanen and Aho. It's very confusing to me. He's catching a lot of strays.
But, yeah, by the way, you would think that Jackson Blake stinks, that Rantanen also is terrible, and that Martin Necas was Wayne Gretzky 2.0, based off some of the stuff that we've seen online.
The Blake hate is confusing to me. So I think he gets the mob kind of off his back for a little bit here with a first period goal. And for a detail, beautiful setup by Rantanen. Just feeds it perfectly and go, that's why they're on the first line together. So we can have that kind of narrative for at least one day. Give me Jackson Blake in his home state for the first time in the first period on a glorious feed from Mikko Rantanen. That's what I'm looking for. Dennis went with Martinook in the first. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, our YouTube channel is open, and our live stream is always up. You can comment there with your first goal scorer predictions for bragging rights. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. This ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny bowl. It's the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl. Scoring touchdowns, it's key to hoisting the Lombardi. That's the Lombardi Trophy. And you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Looking at some of the options here at your disposal, Isaiah Pacheco, right? Short yardage touchdown. That could happen for the Chiefs. He's the running back. Plus 275. So you get a nice little payout on that one. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I'll tell you how right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Let's go ahead and jump into our next segment, which will include a visit from Lamar Mitchell, who will help us. He's the director of trading, MGM Resorts. Help us get set for gambling on the Super Bowl. So stick around for that. Coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Now Svechnikov ties out front for Stoll. They score! The captain ties it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 7:30.
Ball with the redirect. Here come the Hats! Stalled the deflection out in front. Carolina 5-3.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Can your heating and air system handle the winter chill? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
For New Year's, I wanted to try Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications everyone's talked about. I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text DATE to 200-300 to get started this New Year's with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic for 80 to 90% less. 100% online. Don't wait. Text DATE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text DATE to 200-300. DATE to 200-300.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Oh man, now I want wings.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's a pretty big game coming up on Sunday. It's the Super Bowl. And we are joined now in the Heister Automotive Group hotline by Lamar Mitchell. He is the Director of Trading, MGM Resorts and BetMGM. So we're talking gambling, we're talking bets, we're talking lines, we're talking spreads. I also think this is funny, right? Because like the big presentation in someone else's industry, you might be like, hey, man, this is like the Super Bowl for us. For Lamar, the Super Bowl is like the Super Bowl for him. It kind of lines up perfectly. Lamar, appreciate you for taking the time joining us here on the show. We'll dive right in. What are the popular bets? What's the public kind of dumping the most money on right now as you look at it?
Hey, Tim, thanks for having me today.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, popular bets are definitely player props. We see that every year. When it comes to the popular players, the quarterbacks, the running backs, receivers, those are always popular bets. And, of course, the standard just game is always popular. So, everyone's right now we're about 50-50 as far as ticket transaction on the Chiefs minus 1.5. Everyone, like I say, it's split pretty much down the middle. People are taking the Chiefs minus 1.5, and people are taking the Eagles plus 1.5. So, and of course, it always comes down to that money line bet, which is which team will win the game outright. And that's always a popular bet. And right now it seems to be that we're getting a little bit more action on the Eagles in that situation right now, because typically for this game here, for the big game, everyone always bets the underdog because the payoff is a little bit higher than it is if you're betting the favorite.
That's interesting because I saw on BetMGM's Twitter that they had like the map there, and it said every state pretty much where sports gambling is legal other than Kansas, there were more bets placed on the Eagles than the Chiefs. And I was going to ask, like, how do you get people to continue to bet against Mahomes? Like, do they not learn that he wins way more often than he doesn't?
Yeah, that's like I say, it is amazing. I mean, I see about a 2-to-1 advantage in money line bets on the Eagles, and like I say, that's pretty much trends every year that people are going to see that money line, and they're always going to bet that. And typically, we always adjust the money line a little bit more aggressively because we know we're going to take dog action for this game here. But you're right, Mahomes and the Chiefs have been doing this for the last couple of years where they're just winning games, and no one said you have to win by any more than 1 point, and people don't like the way that they're winning, but people still bet against them.
Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, BetMGM, here to talk betting on the Super Bowl. It's interesting with this one, right? And you see it in sports every now and then, but how much does the Super Bowl between these two teams just a couple years ago and how that played out affects maybe the lines and how you set things for this year's Super Bowl?
Well, it's funny because I was just looking at that from a couple years ago, and a couple years ago we had the reverse where the Eagles were the favorite on that game here. But during that course of that time, reputations have been made about the Chiefs and the Eagles. And although the Eagles definitely have the number 1 ranked defense, that number 15 for Kansas City is dictating where this line stands, because if Mahomes was not there, you might see the Eagles as another small favorite in this game again, even with Reed with a different quarterback. But it definitely takes into some account. But as we've discussed before, with number 15 being upright for KC, that really has has dictated where we are with the line.
Now, I don't want to turn this all into the kind of often talked about Swiftie thing here, but I do know I was on your sports book earlier today. There's Super Bowl MVP betting, right? You can bet on the MVP, and 20% of that process is fan voting. So have you baked into the existence of Swifties when it comes to Travis Kelce's plus 1,500 odds, and knowing that I don't know if he even has to play well to get that 20% almost all on the side?
Well, that's something that we when it comes to fan voting, we're not looking at the fan voting for the MVP, but we're looking at the writers that are voting on the MVP. I do know that in this situation, it does seem like Kelce has a good shot of getting this award because, as we know, if it's not the quarterback for the Chiefs, it's probably going to be Kelce, and we take that into account.
The favorite props, right? People love betting on all the weird and crazy bets on the Super Bowl. Do you have a favorite prop that maybe you only roll out for the Super Bowl and you don't have available on the day-to-day?
Yeah, actually this year we rolled out the octopus, which is strictly on our digital side. The octopus, will there be an octopus, will there be a player that will score a touchdown and convert the 2-point conversion on that same sequence.
That's we were talking about that earlier. I think Jalen Hurts would be the pick there, and I'm sure he has the shortest odds. Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, BetMGM. Lamar, before we let you go, I'm I'm sure with a title like Director of Trading, when BetMGM, like everyone in your life hits you up for your favorite picks. So I'm going to do just that. If you're allowed to tell us, do you have a favorite pick? Can you give us a winner, something we can throw on our ticket?
Actually, if you were asking my wife, she wouldn't want me to give any advice on that because she says I'm terrible. Typically, in this game here, it's always defense, and I think defense with the with the Eagles, they're going to keep the game close. But I have to believe that number 15 is going to pull it out, and it's going to be a close game within this margin of what we are at 1.5 points.
All right, so a close win. We appreciate you for taking the time to jump on the show, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, and enjoy the game, guys. Thanks for having me.
Once again, Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading, MGM Resorts, and BetMGM. Sounded like he's picking it in like a ridiculously close Super Bowl, right? He's saying perhaps the Chiefs, but within the spread, they're favored by 1.5. So
a 1-point game.
He's picking a 1-point win for the Chiefs. From an entertainment standpoint, I'm in. I want a one-score game of any kind. A one.
Well, the over/under is what, 48?
48.5.
48.5.
I mean,
so we're looking at like a 25-24 type game.
This is what I'm asking based on if it's going to be a one-score or a 1-point win. Does Andy Reid, with the three-peat on the line, get a touchdown to tie it late and go for 2?
Oh, it makes it like it's 23-24. They're down by 1. Go for 2.
Does he go for 2?
Oh,
Does he have the intestinal fortitude to make that kind of move? And really, obviously, put it in Patrick Mahomes' hands and give him some kind of movement pass with a lot of different options? Or even crazier, does he go? Because we know that Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator, he's a lunatic. Like with the game on the line, he'll send an exotic blitz that he hasn't sent in since 1995. Right? He's crazy.
All defensive backs go.
Yeah. Are you thinking like we're going to drop our defensive tackle to the deep middle third? Could Andy Reid go for 2 and something wild? Right? One of the ring around the rosy plays, one of the shuffle passes, something crazy to win the game. If it is, then Lamar Mitchell will be right. It could be a 1-point win. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you once again to Lamar Mitchell, Director of Trading for MGM Resorts and BetMGM, for joining us on the show. Thank you as well to Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I'm Tim Donnelly for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We do obviously talk a ton about the big game this time of year, right? You're focused on that. Well, don't focus on it so much that you don't notice that Valentine's is right around the corner, right? You need to not only win the big game, you need to make sure you win Valentine's Day. And Bailey's Fine Jewelry wants to help you out with that. They have their Valentine's gift guide. It's active right now, baileybox.com. You can check it out for all of the precious gemstones and different colors and birthstones and all diamonds. You know what. But also, they have a gift guide for heart-shaped jewelry, right? The Valentine's theme, the Bailey collections that you're used to. There's so many different options, and sometimes you just need someone to help you sort through it. BaileyBox.com, their Valentine's gift guide, helps you do just that. And if you have more questions, head out to Bailey's. They will answer your questions. They have experts. They're extremely helpful. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And if you go to their Village District location in Raleigh, be sure to plan to give a little extra time, right? Carve out a portion of your day to not only take care of getting your special someone something awesome from Bailey's, but also check out Fox and Bailey, the watch shop. It's a cool vibe in there. Go to the Omega Boutique. Check out the Glashute original watches. You can spend a whole afternoon in there easily. It's all Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. Make sure they know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 is coming up next, and the NFL revealed their Rookie of the Year. Who is it? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Dallas Mavericks are closer to a title.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Deep River Sporting Clays is the only dealer in the area for Caesar, Guarini, and Fab Arm masterfully crafted Italian shotguns that blend artistry with precision. Our collection includes the innovative Siren line, the first shotguns engineered specifically for women shooters. You get unmatched Italian craftsmanship, stunning details, and competition-grade performance. Visit our showroom to see these exceptional shotguns and demo one today. Our expert staff will help you discover the perfect match for sporting clays or field hunting. Learn more at deepriversportingclays.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Partly cloudy skies tonight after midnight showers and possible thunderstorms. The low temperature 55. Mostly sunny, milder for your Friday. We're up to 70, but temperatures tank on Saturday. Cloudy and cooler, a slight chance for rain, 53.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 125 points to 44,747.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 is coming up. But first, if you want to win Outlaw Music Festival tickets, text keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 919-860-5326. Text it in now, FEST, F-E-S-T, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 27th. Let's jump into the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5.
Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught!
That was Jaden Daniels, one of the most exciting rookies we've seen in a while in the NFL. There are, 5 major Rookie of the Years. He was named the Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Year earlier today. He's been named the Fox and NFL on Fox Rookie of the Year. And NFL honors are coming up tonight, where I believe he is the overwhelming favorite to once again grab the Rookie of the Year.
Is there anyone else to vote for that award?
Yes, actually.
Brock Bowers?
I was going to say, I'm glad since you brought it up. We are going to hit on that a little bit later on in the show. But yes, Brock Bowers shattered not just tight end receiving records. Like, he broke rookie receiving records of all positions. That's pretty darn good. It's really hard, though, and this is true for, Heisman. It's really true for MVP. If you want to win one of these awards where all positions are eligible and you aren't a quarterback, you kind of have to hope that there's no one having a special year at quarterback, because it's just it trumps things, right? Like, Travis Hunter got to be the Heisman because there was no Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels having that kind of quarterback season. Same is true. If Brock Bowers was going to win Rookie of the Year, you really needed someone not to do exactly what Jaden Daniels did as a quarterback. But also, Drake May had a pretty good year. Caleb Williams had a pretty good year. And people, go look at his stats. I know that you don't like how many sacks he took, and he wasn't perfect. Significantly better than other, first overall pick recent rookie years. No shots intended, Panther fans. It was a good year for rookies. I'll put it that way. Malik Neighbors was really good, and he did it despite not the best quarterback play. You know what I'm getting at there. There's some the future of the NFL, I believe, is in solid hands. I'll put it that way. That's number 5. We'll get to the NFL honors more later on. Coming up, number 4.
Count them. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Could have just cut it off at 4. What is 1, 2? Never mind. NBA trade deadline still going bananas. I still feel like I need to go refresh my Twitter feed.
The deadline was 3:00, but we're still getting the calls that were coming into the league office, right at 3. We're still getting reports of some of that coming out.
There's a saying, I want to play cards with, and you say that when you know somebody is a mark, somebody is just a stack of money waiting to be taken from them. I want to play cards with Nico Harrison of the Mavericks. He's getting got. Caleb Williams was traded to the Mavericks. Caleb Martin was traded to the Mavericks. Former NC State guy, played at Nevada. He's from North Carolina. He's one of the twins. You know what I'm talking about. He's a good player. I think he was being depended upon after he was traded there to be a little bit, fill a role that's unfair for him to fill. Maybe a little, we'll call it 30% of a Luka Doncic. He's already out with an injury. There are guys going what do we have that we what's Dumb and Dumber? I traded Petey, right? The bird who had his head fallen off. That's Nico Harrison. That's Nico. It's what do we have that we can trade when he's giving away Luka? He's taking on injured players. What do you have? Call Nico Harrison. He'll pay you way over cost for it. It's the mark in the league. Other trades that have taken place. If you want to know why players throw fits and are whiny brats, look at what Jimmy Butler did. He threw a fit so often that he got 6 weeks of vacation. He was suspended with pay from the Heat. And they traded him to Golden State, where they immediately gave him a 2-year, $120+ million extension to play alongside Steph Curry. He was such a whiny brat that made such a team rules violator that they punished him by sending him to play with the greatest floor spacer to ever live and to get an extra $60 million a year for 2 more years. That's that right. I'll be hearing that for a while. That's why players do what they do. It works. Other big trades. Mark Williams, former Duke center. By the way, do you want to hear a fun fact about Mark Williams?
Okay.
Everybody's aware of the prodigious size of Victor Wembanyama, 7'4". Everybody, he's unlike anything we've ever seen. Do you know what might be more important in the NBA than height?
Wingspan.
Standing reach.
Oh, yeah.
How high can you reach with your hand? Because, you're not blocking shots with the top of your head, right? You're blocking shots with your hand. Mark Williams has a higher standing reach than Victor Wembanyama. How about that? He was traded to the Lakers. So they get Luka, they get Mark Williams. All they had to send back was Dalton Knecht, the player from the Tennessee Volunteers, first-round pick this year, shooter. Cam Reddish, another Duke player, shooter. A unprotected 2031 first-round pick and a 2030 pick swap. I believe we have audio of Shams Charania discussing that trade.
If you don't watch the Charlotte Hornets, Mark Williams is an athletic 7'2" rising big man. He really fits the profile of the type of player that we've seen Luka Doncic thrive with, the Derek Lively's of the world. And I think they are really excited in Los Angeles about that fit. A true center now. We've been talking about it. Anthony Davis, actually, before he got traded, talked about how the Lakers probably needed a 5 addition. The Lakers have been searching for one since last summer, Scott, and they finally found one. This is a guy that could pair with Luka Doncic really for the next 8 to 10 years.
How about that? He played well with Derek Lively, a Duke center. So now he gets traded to the Lakers, and they immediately go, well, we need a Derek Lively type. They went and traded for a Duke center, where he will be coached by a Duke shooting guard, J.J. Redick. The other big trade, the De'Aaron Fox trade, included a former Duke point guard, Trey Jones. There are Duke players all over, and I'm missing Brandon Ingram.
Oh, yeah, Brandon Ingram was traded to Toronto Raptors.
Yes, in exchange for multiple picks, multiple players. There's Duke players going all over the place.
Another local tie, P.J. Tucker, Raleigh's own. It's been traded 3 times in the last 5 days. I don't even know what team he's on anymore.
I saw Dennis Schroeder's been traded 3 times last 24 hours.
Yeah.
The NBA is it's fun in that respect.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
It's part of the new style of basketball, right? You don't got to know plays. You just got to go out there and kind of know basketball. So you can pick up players and drop them on another team, and football couldn't do this.
All right, guys, high pick and roll. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
You yell out horns. Everybody knows what it is. Floppy. Everybody knows what that is. It's you couldn't do it. You could do it in baseball. You could have an active trade deadline like this in baseball because he very rarely plays. But it's just they need to lean into this. They should make every GM be in find one convention center. Everybody gets their room, and you have to walk out to negotiate. So we can see who you're talking to. Make it lean into it, right? The 24-hour news cycle. Make it news that Can you imagine? The Mavs and the Lakers have met 3 times in the last 2. Who could they be discussing? And then to find out it's Luka and Anthony Davis in a swap? Electric. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Cuff into the paint. Step through on Harris. Tough 2. Oh, volleyball by Maluach. It's Evans to the other end with a right hand punch to say goodnight. My goodness. Timeout, Syracuse.
That was part of the Duke win over Syracuse last night.
Dave Shoemate on the call, Blue Devil Sports Network.
That was when they were already up 29 and there were 4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I singled out that they didn't have much, I would say, finishing power against UNC in their previous game. They were ahead by a bunch, gave UNC that run at the end to make it slightly more respectable. Still a big win, but slightly more respectable. So what I wanted to see against Syracuse was, quite frankly, dominance and killer instinct and step on their throat and all the way through the whistle, all the way to the end of the game. So with 4 minutes left, up 29, they were volleyball spiking jumpers. The volleyball spike turned into an outlet pass, and a bench player was yamming on transition defenders.
You should have got an assist for that, Common Malawash.
Should have. Rebound, assist. It's like a sack fumble. You get both. Block, rebound, assist. Give it to them all. Sack, tackle for a loss, fumble. Get it all. Then yesterday, when we're talking, just to cover all our bases, Talk about things that Duke could work on. Dennis, I believe it was you that brought up, and not have an emotional letdown after UNC. Right? Because you win the rivalry game at home, then suddenly you're on the road up north in Syracuse, a team that's not as good as you are, quite frankly. And John Shire on the Blue Devil Sports Network, which we just referenced, thought his team was able to turn the page over from UNC.
Well, we had discussed it. I don't know if we had our best pop necessarily to start the game, but I thought we were able to turn it up. Cooper, didn't necessarily have his best stuff tonight, and he was just, plus 22, and just still did a lot of things. And I love where Tyrese is at. I love Tyrese being ready to shoot. I thought he had a really good game, and like we talked about, it's just good to have 5 different guys in double digits and 18 assists, and then obviously the defense holding them to 54 points.
And he brought up the third thing. And it's, again, to critique Duke right now, they're on, a 12 or 13 game win streak. They're undefeated in the ACC. Their only 2 losses have come to Kansas and Kentucky, and they were both one possession. If you hit one shot, you win, but you fumbled it away with freshmen in late minutes who are developing. You're nitpicking here, but one of the only other nitpicks was I am of the belief that it is extremely rare, no matter how good you are, that you will go 6 tournament games without having one off game, right? You go back and think of, especially as a freshman, you go back and think of the Anthony or Carmelo Anthony's, the Anthony Davises. There's usually one game where you're a little off and the rest of your team has to pick it up. What John Shire just mentioned about Cooper Flagg not having his best stuff. I mean, when you're leading the team in a whole bunch of statistics, and then you have a game where you're 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, it's okay. Someone else is going to have to pick it up, and that's exactly what happened. Tyrese Proctor scored 16, including 4 threes. That's going to play. Isaiah Evans off the bench found a way to knock down 2 threes, finished with 10 points, and more, they found a way to be effective. That's good. Right? Obviously, you don't want Cooper Flagg to have an off day in the Sweet 16, but you got to play 6 games in whatever it is, 4 weeks. There's a chance that he's going to have one off, and the rest of the team's going to have to pick him up against a good team. So games like that are important. Last night was a good game for Duke, and also acknowledge with the grain of salt that Syracuse is not very good. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us. Right wing Taylor, he steps into a 3 and hits it. Boy, did the Pack need that right in front of the bench.
That's good. You found a highlight from that one, huh? NC State lost to Cal last night. Many of you probably slept through it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tip your waitresses. Many of you probably slept through it. It was an 11 p.m. Eastern time tip because they were playing out in Berkeley against the Cal Bears. There are good things about State in each individual game, right? Last night, Marcus Hill scored 20, efficient, played a really good game, had a few hustle plays, was rebounding the ball exceptionally well. Trey Parker off the bench, freshman, again, building on this last little streak he's had where he's scoring more. I thought Dontrez Styles, even though he kind of shot them out of the game at times, 3 for 16, thought he rebounded well. So they're you look at any individual State game over the last 7, 8, 9, 10 games, you can usually find a few good things. Usually those good things happen in the first 30 minutes of the game, which would mean the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half. And no matter how good they are, you find a way to fumble it away at the end. And that is really the only constant. Right, they're on a 7-game losing streak. It is the longest losing streak under Kevin Keats as head coach. He's the second longest tenured in the ACC. He's been there for a while now, which is significant. You go and look at each of those games. Every game has different positives. Styles scores well in this one. They don't turn the ball over in that one. Marcus Hill played well in this one. All of these different things can go well. The constant is the last 5 minutes of the game, the other team is going to outplay you, and they're going to win. You win by 10, they win by 2, they win by 5, they win by 6. It's the last 5 minutes of the game, and it's become a darn near certainty. And once that happens, it's really, really hard to turn that tide. Once you start having the worries, right? I'll use like the psychology of golf. This is well known. I'm wearing my U.S. Open hat today. If you have, let's say, a par 3, I'll go 174 yards, and you have a water hazard. You got the drink front side of the green. You have to clear it onto the green. Sports psychologists will tell you, if you go up there thinking, don't hit it in the water, don't hit it in the water, don't hit it in the water,
You're going to hit the water.
Yep. Again, the psychologists will tell you, this is not me, but your brain doesn't hear don't, right? It doesn't understand. Your brain just hears hit it in the water, hit it in the water, hit it in the water, hit it in the water. You tighten up, you hit it in the water. You should be saying, like if you need self-talk, hit it on the green, hit it on the green, hit it on the green, flush it, strike it well, hit it, good swing, nice and easy, positive things. Which is much more easily said than done, right? If on like I'm a bad golfer, right? So if I've already put 5 in the water in this round, I've lost 3 others in the woods. It's really hard to walk up to that number 17 par 3 clearing a large hazard and go, all right, let's go ahead and stripe this one right on. You're sitting there going like, if I hit this one in the water, man, just don't hit it in the water. Well, now put state there, right? You're down 5 last night on the road at Cal. There's 5 minutes left in the game. You're coming down to the clutch portion of the game, and you're down 5. What do you think they're saying? Don't crumble. Come on. Don't do what we did last week and the week before. Don't do what we've done in each of the last 6. Don't let it happen again. Come on, guys. Don't do what we did last time. That's what we did last time. When they should be thinking the same thing they've been thinking for the first 35 minutes of the game, which is one play at a time, one good decision. All right, here's what we need to do. Where do I have to be? Let's react. Let's play basketball. But that is so much more easily said than done. Once you get in the habit, once you develop a trend, it is wildly difficult to buck that trend. And that's what they have to do. And they're going to have to go on like a little winning streak here down the stretch just to make the ACC tournament. If they keep playing like they're playing, they're going to be one of the first 3 teams to not even make the ACC tournament, because this is the first year with the new additions that there's 3 teams that don't make it. One reminder, they are the defending ACC tournament champions.
Yep.
I always do you know what? I'll use another golf example. I always feel because the Masters, right? The previous champion puts the green jacket on the new champion. I always feel bad when the previous champion misses the cut, because then they have to hang around Saturday and Sunday, even though they're not playing, just to put the jacket on someone else. That's like the vibe I get. Like, you don't even make the tournament. State should have to show up to present the trophy to the new winner. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Now the Rangers send it across the Banijad in with his step, and Mr. Anderson shuts him down again. Oh, Frederick Anderson, he's been a rock, and the best chance for the Rangers has just been stopped here in the 3rd period.
Canes tonight versus the Wild. It is a radio-only broadcast for Mike and Tripp and the crew. So if you want to hear your traditional broadcast, right here, Stormwatch at 7 o'clock with Adam Gold. You'll hear all of the traditional pregame stuff to get you ready. And then 7:30 against the Wild, coming to you from Minnesota. 2 games left before the Four Nations face-off break. And it is a break for, I would say, most of the team. There's Jarvis will be playing for Team Canada. Slavin will be for Team USA. The 2 Finnish players, and Aho and Rantanen, will be on Team Finland. Am I missing anybody there? Nope, that is
just 4.
The representatives of the Canes in the Four Nations face-off. Everybody else gets a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a reset. So, all out, right? Smoke them if you got them kind of next 2 games. You're not allowed to be tired. You can be tired next week kind of games. The Wild are a middle-of-the-pack team as far as what you'd expect to get from them. But if we're being real, the Canes are in a situation where you focus on you, right? It is very much a coach speak game. nameless, faceless opponent. It is about getting 1% better with the new additions. It is about finding out where and when your new teammates like to get the puck. It's about we were talking about it earlier today. Mikko Rantanen gets the handedness of his center has flipped, right? Getting slightly more used to that and seeing the puck come from a slightly different trajectory. It's focusing on that kind of stuff in game action that will set you up.
So yeah, Nathan McKinnon's a right-handed center. What he played in Colorado. Sebastian Aho, left-handed.
Handedness? Do you think that might have confused people? That
maybe.
I'm not sure everyone. Handedness. Sometimes I don't even know if that's a word. But yeah, exactly. Like little things like that. And you don't really think of those until you're there, right? I always kind of equate it to like a righty or a lefty quarterback, and they're going like the ball spins the wrong way, and it's like, oh yeah. On TV, it just looks like the ball's flying through the air. To you, you're like tracking spirals, right? For us, it just looks like Aho passing it to Rantanen. But when you are doing something with the amount of repetitions that elite athletes do, the puck coming just, a degree differently or rotating a different way can throw you off, right? These guys are finely tuned athletes. So it's that sort of thing, right? It's getting used to the system. It's getting used to everything else. And it's not just Rantanen and Hall getting used to the way the Canes do it. It's the reverse as well. It's other players getting used to how they like it, right? Because you'd be foolish to look at what Mikko Rantanen has done in his career and Taylor Hall have done in their career and think, well, we want them doing completely different things. You want to allow them to keep doing what they do well and what they've proven to do well. Again, to relate it to the sport I played, like when a quarterback who's had a ton of success goes to a new place, he brings part of the playbook, and he's like, actually, guys, this is what I do well, and you work together to make it all happen. That's what they're doing. I believe Freddie will be in net tonight, which is just the rotation. That's how it's going to be. Freddie's been playing well, so I'm expecting nothing else. And I would like to see him, again, this will be his last time in net, assuming Piotr gets the final before the Four Nations face-off for like 2.5, 3 weeks. Freddie, that's good for Freddie. I think he's somebody that can use breaks. He, gets hurt occasionally and all that. So, make sure that you're healthy on the way out. And I'm all thumbs up. Earlier today, you said this. I just learned we have this. Rod Brindamore earlier today stopped by the Adam Gold Show and talked about it's for Stormwatch. Talked about the Rantanen Aho Blake line. Is that what we're getting at? Yes, it is. And here's the audio.
There's always frustration when you don't win and then don't score. So, but I think these guys also understand, like in every game they've had opportunities, and so that's what you want. If you're not getting opportunities, then you're really frustrated. I think it's these guys know if you continue to play like that and get your chances, the odds say you're going to start cashing in. So they certainly had a good game in LA. That didn't transfer. The other night was, really was an even game all the way around. It's just we didn't get, anything kind of going our way. So, tonight's a new night, and we'll see how it goes.
The most accurate thing he said in there is, like, when you lose, sometimes people get really upset about things. And I'm paraphrasing, right? If you were winning, all of these complaints would not be happening. It's across every sport. I saw the Commanders owner said they're keeping the name now because people they're starting to embrace it. People are starting to like it, so we're going to keep the name. There's no more studies on if we should change it or not. I'm like, oh, what happened? Did you make the conference championship game and now all of a sudden everybody's cool with everything and they're not complaining as much?
Oh, you won.
Oh, look at that. You're a 3-game win streak away from everybody saying Mikko Rantanen's the best player ever and Jackson Blake should never leave the top line. Mm-hmm. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab our numbers game contestants, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. The prize for today, a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. We need 2 contestants. Go ahead and call in 919-860-5326 if you want to play the numbers game. 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Natchez and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those 2 guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. Our contestants for today are Jason in Durham and John in Wilson. Here's what you guys are up against. Yesterday, we had double fives, double perfect scores. So the question that you need to answer to see who gets to go first is this. What is the most flawless performance in sports history? The best game from an individual or team. I'm just looking for perfection. Jason in Durham, in sports history, what is the most perfect performance?
That's a tough one.
Or just best performance. I mean, flawless could be like, well, it's not supposed to be, 100%. You got to have a few mistakes in there to make it perfect.
Yeah, Michael Jordan flu game.
Michael Jordan flu game. Solid answer. Dennis is taking it into account. We'll see if it ends up getting you first. John and Wilson, same question to you. In honor of our double 5 for 5s yesterday, what is the most flawless, perfect performance in sports?
Man, he took my answer. Having said that, let's go with Brady in the second half of the Super Bowl against the Falcons. That was absolutely perfect.
Another solid one as well. Dennis, which one are you going with?
This is actually not an easy one. The flu game was pretty remarkable for all things considered. But that second half performance, being down 28-3, Super Bowl, I think takes it. Yep. I think it does. As much as we have the local tie with Jordan, being obviously from North Carolina and all that, I might have to go, as much as I hate saying it, I got to go with the Tom Brady.
All right, that works. By the way, this is a side conversation very quickly here. When you start to see, like 2 weeks ago, on this date, 25 years ago, like this Super Bowl happened, you realize how far back they've moved the Super Bowl. It's like, on this date, X amount of years ago, John Elway and the Broncos, on this date, and I'm like, really? It's like the divisional round. How in the heck? And the Brady comeback happened a couple days ago, however many years ago. That means John and Wilson gets to go first. John, are you ready to pick a category?
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right, the categories are NFL players drafted in 2019, NFL players drafted in 2008, NBA Paris Olympians. Those are 2024 Olympic, both gold and silver medal teams. So that could be USA or France. And NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go NFL 2019.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Josh Jacobs, Green Bay Packers.
8.
Correct. Brian Burns, New York Giants.
0.
Correct. Deebo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers.
19.
Correct. TJ Hawkinson, Minnesota Vikings.
87.
Correct. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
26.
Incorrect. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
28.
Incorrect. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
29.
Incorrect. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
Oh, God. 21.
Incorrect. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
20.
Yeah! Is it in there? Was it good?
I'm going to have to check the tape on this one. This one was very close.
All right. I may have jumped the gun with celebrations because the judges haven't confirmed it yet. I thought you were donezo when you went 27, 28, 29, and then to 21. I was like, oh, no, we skipped over 20. I thought you were going to go right back up the list.
I was about to.
you got Jacobs, you got Burns. Samuel for Deebo, you said, I believe, 19. We also would have accepted 1. He's worn both over his career for those of you playing at home. Hawkinson, you got 87. That's what he wears with the Vikings. He also wore 88 in Detroit. But that's just a fun fact. And Jacobs has also worn 8 and 28 for the Raiders.
Shot came after the buzzer.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry for reacting so positively.
We got a 4, though.
I got 4. It's still a very good number. I just set you up for disappointment by over-celebrating. Stay on the line, though. We'll see if it holds up for the prize. That brings us to Jason in Durham. Jason, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories remaining are NFL players drafted in 2008, NBA Paris gold and silver medalists, that's USA and France, or NHL Hurricanes only.
We'll go NFL 08.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Deshaun Jackson, Philadelphia Eagles.
10.
Correct. Joe Flacco, Baltimore Ravens.
15.
Incorrect. Jordy Nelson, Green Bay Packers.
82.
Incorrect. Joe Flacco, Baltimore Ravens.
5.
Correct. Rashard Mendenhall, Pittsburgh Steelers.
27.
Incorrect. Jordy Nelson, Green Bay Packers.
88.
Incorrect. Rashard Mendenhall, Pittsburgh Steelers.
32.
Incorrect. Jordy Nelson, Green Bay Packers.
81.
Incorrect. Rashard Mendenhall, Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what? It was good strategy. It was well executed. It's just you got some players you didn't know. Jackson, 10. You got Flacco, 5 as well. Jordy Nelson with the Packers wore number 87, and Mendenhall with the Steelers, number 34. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Try again another time. That means John and Wilson is the winner. John, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not a perfect score, but it was good enough to get the win. And once again, I apologize for getting your hopes up that it was a perfect score. I thought you snuck it in before the buzzer. But stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure you get your prize.
I'm actually, the 20 became before the buzzer. I went and checked the tape again. We do have a perfect 5 for 5. We have a perfect 5 for 5. I just played the tape for you all live right there.
Congratulations again. I get to give you back the celebration.
Hey, I'm going to take it now. Perfect.
All right. You know what? Now you know what it feels like to be anyone that plays the Carolina Hurricanes. You get a goal, then you think it's taken. No, you get a goal. Canes never win those. Dennis, I did just compare you to the refs that go goalie interference.
Hey, well, you know what? At least I got it right.
True. That's actually maybe that's the difference between.
So yeah, don't put that evil on me.
No, it just felt similar.
We
thought we had a goal, then it was taken away, then it was given back. It feels like I'm watching.
I'm gonna run it back one more time for the people so they can hear it.
20.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was in there.
Shot was released before the buzzer.
Yeah, I think it was good. That's solid showing. And we're now 3 out of 4 contestants have gone perfect in the last 2 days. That's a good way to send me off to paternity leave. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here is Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. Folks, don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we look to the awards being given away tonight and give our thoughts on who should win them. Get ahead of that. Coming up next.
From 32 to 2, Kansas City.
The Chiefs have won again. They have beaten the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Philadelphia.
20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Join 99.9 The Fan on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. Super Bowl Sunday on 99.9 The Fan is presented by First Horizon Bank and Wake Med. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Can your heating and air system handle the winter chill? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Whether you're riding with the Chiefs or the Eagles, FanDuel has yet another way for you to win big during Super Bowl 59. It's because FanDuel's put together 2 parlays that feature an exclusive profit boost. If you think the Chiefs are going to win and their quarterback's going to throw for more than 225 passing yards, you can bet that and get bigger winnings if it hits. Maybe you think the Eagles are going to win and their star running back's going to have over 100 rushing yards. That's cool. You get a profit boost on that too. Either way, these parlays are all set to bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and claim your exclusive profit boost. That's FanDuel.com/Paul to bet Super Bowl 59 on America's #1 sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Deep River Sporting Clays is the only area dealer for Caesar, Guarini, and Fab Arm Italian shotguns, including the Siren line for women. Learn more at deepriversportingclays.com. Again, deepriversportingclays.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have Overdrive coming up after this show. At 7:30, there will be Stormwatch with Adam Gold. You'll hear from Rod Brindamore there. And then at 7 o'clock Stormwatch, 7:30, there will be the actual puck drop for the Canes at the Minnesota Wild. It's all right here on 99.9 The Fan. It is a hockey night in Carolina. Small bit of Panthers news before we jump into NFL honors tonight. David Newton covers the team, tweeted out that Adam Thielen has decided he will be playing next year after talking about contemplating retirement. I think you watched him play. He still had gas in the tank. I'm not surprised, but he's made that decision according to Dave Newton.
Good for him. Let him as is.
Still under contract, so there's not even like negotiations that take place.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left on the deal.
1 year left on a 3-year deal. Tonight, there's also the NFL Honors Awards. It's like the Oscars or Grammys, but for the NFL. We're going to talk about the awards. But first, I want to talk Hall of Famers because we will also learn which 5 of the modern era finalists have reached the Hall of Fame. I'm going to say which 5 I think should get in and then explain why the ones that I'm sure many of you want to get in, I don't have getting in. In no particular order here. It might even be alphabetical. I'm not positive. Jared Allen, defensive end, I think should get in. Torrey Holt, wide receiver, from State. Should have been in a long time ago, but he gets in this year, according to me. Eli Manning gets in as a first ballot. Adam Vinatieri gets in, I believe, as a first ballot. And Reggie Wayne are the 5 that I put in. That would mean, here's where the complaints happen. Steve Smith has to wait 1 more year. This is not Steve Smith's fault. I think Steve Smith should have already been in. The issue is, for whatever reason, like 10 years ago, the committee started holding wide receivers they started saying your stats and impressiveness are only because of the era, and they held them out. So now there's a logjam of deserving wide receivers. So you got to start putting like 2 or 3 in a year just to catch back up. So I believe Larry Fitzgerald is up next year as a first ballot. So I have him and Steve Smith in next year as you accelerate these wide receivers. But Torrey Holt needs to get in, and Reggie Wayne needs to get in. They're as deserving as Steve Smith, and it's just who was their first thing. Luke Kuechly does not get in this year in his first year of eligibility. He is a Hall of Famer. I think he was like 5 years of playing away from being a first ballot Hall of Famer, but with his election to retire early, it cost him first ballot. That's it. He's still a Hall of Famer. He's still one of the best defenders of an era. He just ends up a second or third year Hall of Famer rather than a first, and the only reason being is he, only played from 12 to 19. Antonio Gates doesn't get in for me. Reason being, different than everybody else, he had a performance-enhancing drug suspension. 4 games, he was suspended for PEDs. I'm not sure anyone that's been suspended for that has made the Hall. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm saying I think he should at least have to sweat it out a little bit, right? You got to address the C word. That's cheaters. So there you go there. Terrell Suggs also doesn't get in for me. He's just got to wait his time. He'll get in eventually, but Jared Allen also needs to get in. It's really just a waiting game for some of these guys. Other than that, the other players, I don't think there's a ton of, like Eric Allen, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, Fred Taylor, Darren Woodson, Marshall Yanda. They'll be on the list again next year. Any qualms, Dennis? You want to argue in our last 5 minutes?
I would just be shocked if Vinatieri gets in as a first ballot.
He's the greatest kicker.
Oh, I know he is, but a lot of people are like, hey, you're a kicker. Wait your time.
Yeah, I mean,
just simply based on the position that he plays. That's simply it.
I wouldn't argue with that, but if you're the best.
I don't disagree with you in that regard.
I said the same thing about Hester. I understand you're on the field less, but if you're the absolute best, and unless you just want to make, if you want to make punters and kickers ineligible for the Hall, I'm fine with that. Hey, you're not real football players. You're just flexible 170-pounders. That's fine. But if there's a spot for them, I think you got to address the best. Other awards they're giving away, comeback of the year. I'm not spending any time on that. It's the most confusing award of all time. I don't know what half these guys are coming back from. MVP, I've made my argument. It's Lamar. I think he had the better regular season. If you include the postseason, then obviously not there. Might be Saquon if you include postseason, but Lamar is the guy. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going Jamar Chase. He is a Triple Crown winner. It is catches, touchdowns, as receiving yards. Even somebody like Saquon that ran for 2,000 yards, he did not lead in rushing touchdowns. So Jamar Chase dominated his position more. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Bond. He does it all. He's not just the sack guy. He's not just the secondary guy. Did a little bit of everything for Philly for a really good defense. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels is already starting to rack up Rookie of the Year awards. I expect that to continue. Brock Bowers deserves a head nod as well. Tough one. Jaden Daniels wasn't so good. You'd have this award. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going Jared Verse. He's a beast out of Florida State. So I must think he's really good if I'm giving it to a Florida State guy for how I feel about that place right now. Coach of the Year, I'm going Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota Vikings, simply because his quarterback or his first-round quarterback got hurt preseason and they still won 14 games, which is insane. And Assistant Coach of the Year goes to Ben Johnson because he called not only the number one offense, he was the play caller for Detroit, he's their OC, but he tried to call an end-around pass with his right tackle. And that right there, that's a heat check of all time. And he had his right tackle coached up well enough that if it's not there, not to force the throw and to eat it and go get what you can on the ground. That is a right tackle on a pass, on a trick play, being a heady veteran gamer. That's great coaching right there. Shout out Ben Johnson.
Football player.
Yeah, he's exactly. He's not a lineman. He's a football player. You need him to cover a tight end in the red zone, he's got you. Panay Sewell, by the way, is the lineman. Dennis, anything to argue with?
No, I really don't. I mean, the only one I would say if Lamar doesn't win MVP, it's Josh Allen. That's probably the next.
You're not going to ride for TJ Watt as Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, you know how I feel about that. He's Defensive Player of the Year for the entire decade.
Aaron Donald.
For this decade.
Oh, you're saying for the upcoming decade?
No, for the decade we're currently in. Donald retired 2 years ago.
Well, definitely not for the entire decade. Aaron Donald is the definition of because there were years I thought TJ Watt should have been Defensive Player of the Year. If it went to the best defender, Aaron Donald was that dude for, I think he played 10 years, 9 of them. He was the best defensive player. He didn't have the best year always. Again, I think TJ Watt should have been Defensive Player of the Year, but the best defender. It's the same with Mahomes. Mahomes shouldn't be MVP this year. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. That's how it is. Aaron Donald was that dude.
I was referring to the 2020s, the decade we're in.
I want to say Donald played at least till 2023, right? Or 2022?
No, he only played 2 years in this decade. He retired a couple years ago. They won a
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl and he was out.
For those two years,
he was still great.
The best defensive player in the league. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to move on here because I got to tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. You can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Mahomes ran for a couple weeks ago. Maybe he's got the taste of it and he wants more. You can bet on him to score a touchdown. If you're ready to place your first bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score 6 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers to DraftKings can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. I'll tell you how. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD at signup. That's code TIMD at signup. New customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Again, Tim D at sign up, bet $5, $200 instantly in bonus bets. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Now, we are nearing the end of the show today, and if you didn't hear it earlier, I am out starting tomorrow. My wife is scheduled for the inducing of labor for our second child. We have a little girl that we are hoping is a very, very, very quick arrival tomorrow and as pain-free as possible for my wife and the baby. So that is what I will be doing tomorrow, and then I'll take a little bit of time after that to welcome the little bundle of joy into the world. While I'm gone, make sure you give Dennis and whoever else is on this show the hardest time possible. If they say something foolish, no, I'm kidding. You're in good hands. They will they'll entertain you and get you set up. I timed it perfectly, right? Because
no Canes games.
The Canes have 2 more. They have 1 tonight, and then the Four Nations face-off break. So.
Let's buy real quick. Our guy Micah.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take: Canes don't score a goal until don't score a goal tonight until the third period when they let Jarvis take Blake's spot on the top line.
Whoa.
That is a hot take.
People want Blake off the top line so desperate. He's playing all right. Either way, that's coming up tonight. Hockey Night in Carolina, 99.9 The Fan. Until I see you again, which hopefully will be not super long into the future, have a great night, everybody.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Now Svechnikov ties out front for Stoll. They score! The captain ties it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 7:30.
Follow the redirect. Here come the hits! Stoll, the deflection out in front. Carolina 5-3.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at NCAA.